3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the most exciting episode of Nerds and Words ever. Episode 31. We have an extremely amazing episode today because today we have not one, but two guests. And we are joined, as always, by Potion Shop TV, the man who never stops streaming.
It is I.
Moreland TV, the man who does stop streaming.
It's true, I do.
And then I'll be your host, Tim Allen1337. And today we are joined by our two favorite Don't Tell Good Vibes Guy guests, returning guest, Khur. Welcome back, my friend.
The fly in a bowl of milk.
And I need a new CPU, BioHack TV.
I do need a new CPU. Hello.
Thank you guys for joining us. So I was worried. There's a ton of COVID going around in South Florida right now. It probably, or at least in my neck of the woods, whatever the case is. So I wasn't sure what we're doing for childcare this week. So I debated Potion Shop into inviting more guests than was needed, but we figured we'd just roll with it and have a good time. So that's what we're doing. A lot of really cool stuff to talk about. Nova Succession and Awakening came out. I think we've all had at least a little bit of an experience with that. But first, and as always, let's catch up with our guests and what you guys have been up to since, I don't know, roughly the last time you've been here, or anything you want to bring up specifically that's selfish. BioHack, what's up with you, man? I heard you may have one-tapped something cool.
Yeah. I one-tapped Pendeboreka, which basically finishes all my gear outside of Shining Alkstones and Pen Fallen Gods. So, that was pretty crazy.
Shining Alkstones.
Yeah, I got to work on those eventually. But yeah, I've had terrible pen accessory luck. I think I'm at like 5 out of 56 on pen accessories using stacks that should be like 1 in 6, 1 in 7. So I got kind of fucked, but all of that sort of is rectified by that Deboreka. So I'm really stoked about that.
So what you're saying is we should buy a Resplendent before you buy them all and blow them up?
Well, I'm pretty patient. I buy them very slow. I mean, I've already been buying some. I buy them very slowly when there's like boxes coming out and stuff. I'm not super pressing hard for it right now. I need to make more capital, but yeah. I also rerolled to Kuno, back to Kuno, because Kuno is what I played probably the longest in this game for my Archer. And that was a good choice. I'm really enjoying the Kuno.
What was the motivation behind that?
I just got sick and tired of, like, I love Archer. I love the playstyle. It's really fun. But he's really good at fighting people who don't know how to fight Archer. And against anyone who does, it's just like every one of his abilities is total grab bait. You can't use like half his kit in PvP, it feels like, especially with all the slows. So I just got tired of that.
That's fair.
Now when I lose, I feel like I lost because I deserved it and not just because the class was holding me back.
I didn't realize it had so much, lost potential because of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, be in situations where you'd like get a ranged KD and you'd start using your abilities and someone would stand up from a knockdown like a ninja, like dash towards you, block jump and grab you before your animation even finished. And you're like, holy shit. Like, how do you even play this class if, everything's that slow? But I don't know. I mean, there's always an element of get good, but still, it feels like
I'm surprised people were standing up from your knockdowns. I would assume that they would just instantly evaporate as soon as they hit the dirt.
Well, it depends on what build I'm using, but I mean, the thing about Archer is like his damage really comes from full bloom, right? Which means you have to get up close in someone's face and full bloom them. So I'm talking about like you get a KD from max range and you're not really in a position where you can capitalize with full bloom.
Yeah, he's ranged, but technically you have to get in melee range to really blow somebody apart easily.
Yeah. So it is what it is. I'm really loving the Kuno, though. Happy it went back. She's so strong. I'm playing a 288 AP build with like 850 evasion now, and it's Centaur, evasion offhand, and Pendebo.
Do you prefer the hoop or the suck? Which one?
I prefer the hoop, but the suck is probably a little stronger. I'm just trying to play both and really learn how to play both, so I can feel like I'm making an informed decision based on which one, and not just like what I'm used to.
So what is the true value of Pen Debo neck by your calculation?
I'm being attacked.
Because we know the market value is a joke. It's a fraction of what it's actually worth.
I'd probably value it at like 250 bill.
Okay, not bad.
That seems reasonable. What
2.5
stack?
black stars.
Yeah. I mean, if you think it like, yeah, that's based on like the idea that if you were like selling the Tets, because selling Tet debos is like actually crazy profitable. So if you were going to sell your Tets instead, you can figure out how much each one is actually worth, and then do the calculation to figure out what the pen would cost. And I'd say like 200 to 250.
Do you see Tet Deborka eventually lowering the price of like Pin Ogre?
Yeah, I think like grinding Ash Forest to make Tet Debos is incredibly RNG dependent because you're stacking RNG on RNG and RNG in terms of making your money, but it's probably the highest grinding money in the game.
Right. If you have a set
500 mil an hour. Because each Debo is worth like 2.5 billion silver if you tap them to Tet, assuming you get average luck. And you probably get one like every 6 to 8 hours, so that's pretty solid.
Well, I've never failed a Tet necklace, so
the one thing I'm actually doing, I have about 500 Master Pure Magic, and I'm just been storing it up because I want to actually use the armor and the stuff to actually make fail stacks, and eventually like prepared to do that because that's one cheap way I can make fail stacks for Tet.
Bro, Tet black stars make great fail stacks.
Yep. I want to do that, and maybe I was thinking about also getting like a Dragon Slayer, possibly to do that as well. Because it's so cheap, I grinded so much, I have so many of them.
People still paying money for those?
Or they're sold out.
Interesting. Never know what to expect with this economy.
So how's it feel to have are you the server first, world first? To have that, Tebow?
Definitely not world first. Odier's made 2 of them. He's only
Server
one
first legit. We could say
but
that.
Yeah, I generally say that. I mean, you kind of, does it count if you cheated?
No, I don't think it does.
So, you said the next goal is Shining Alchemy Stone?
Yeah, I need to work on that. I mean, I wouldn't. That's a pretty long goal. I'm mostly working on the HP potion.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, I got my Ronaros piece, so I just need the Sharecon piece.
Cool, man. What's up with you, Khur? How you been, buddy?
We're just chilling, man. I finally gave up the hunt life about 5 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
That's a thing. Yeah, because I figured it was pretty much never gonna get buffed. So like I went back to doing grinding
Was that
stuff.
Odalita change just a nail in the coffin for it?
I mean, the Odalita change happened after I'd already stopped doing hunting, but it was more so the fact that like, I'd kind of done majority of everything that you can do. It's just more of like at that point, just killing feather wolves in circles till the end of time, right? So it's kind of like a little pointless. And also I'm kind of like stacking up costumes to try to make Pen Blackstar Awakening on the first day it comes out. So
Ooh.
yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I think my first one took me 23 crons and 1 raw. So I think that's not bad, right? I think it's like right on average.
What's the cost of that? Like 80, 100 bill?
What stack did you use? That's pretty bad.
It was around 160 bill with a 200 and it's like a 201 stack. I didn't use a fat stack. I just used a 201 stack. So it was about average with the percentage.
I'm currently using a 200. I'm currently using a 212 stack for Tet Blackstar.
Oh my
Good God, dude.
yeah, the second Tet was pretty rough. I think the first Tet took me 12 attempts, so it wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got tilted and I raw tapped the pin, and then the next one took me 31, 33 attempts to get back to Tet.
You poor thing.
So hey, dude, look, all right, not everyone fails Tet Blackstar 80 times like you, Tim. All right, I think that thing is cursed. You just need to buy it.
Yeah, I would say most people don't fail 88 times, in fact.
Well, so I did the math and double checked it with BioHack to make sure it was roughly right. And there's a 0.011% chance to fail this as many times as I failed it.
At 0.0 what?
0.011.
So don't try making 200 fail stacks with Black Star then.
Well, I have 3 of them. So
Wait.
No,
Was
that's
that 0.00011 percent or 0.01 like as a decimal?
0.01%. I know how to make a percent out of it. It was like 0.0001 on a decimal.
That sounds a little too low. So what would that mean? Like 1 in 1,000? Are you saying 1 in 10,000?
I used 10%. I just averaged it at 10% because some of my attempts were like 9.8, but most of them have been a little over 10 and up to 11, and they've all failed. So I just threw it all into a pot at 10%, and then it's 10%. What is it? 9 out of 10 to the 88th power.
Is it at least a backup, or are you using like a Tri Black Star to grind with?
I'm grinding with a Tri Black Star as we speak.
Karen, did you miss this conversation last time? Yeah.
No, I mean we have the conversation every time, but like I figured he would learn.
That's why it's so funny because he blew it up. It was stuck grinding with a Tri Black Star for like a month, and then finally got it back to 10, and immediately blew it up again. So he's still stuck with the Tri.
I just figured he would eventually learn. I didn't think I thought this was a backup, but he was trying to like get back. Like,
I figured that like my first time around was so tough at almost 60 fails for Black Star that there's no way it would take another 60 fails to get it back. Like the chances of that are literally fairly close to impossible. But here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Bro, I think you just need to get another one. I think that one is just cursed.
I've done that 3 times. I've raw tapped it. I've sold it and bought new ones. I've done everything. I've channel swapped. I've used Chonations, enhancing places. I've streamed it. I've not streamed it. There's like no other feather cap bullshit tinfoil that I could possibly attempt. And I'll be fucked if I spend
wait a second here. Just give me a little bit of time. Give me some time. I'll definitely come up with some new methods for you.
Wait, what about potion shops like fill up the cup RNG thing?
I emptied my cup, dude. I grinded stars in for 7 hours, got no drops, using J scrolls, no drops. I'm like, tap Black Star, here we go. 3 fails in a row.
Did you enhance it at the stars in node though?
I didn't. Is that where I fucked up?
Probably. What's your zodiac and what time did you click it?
I'm a Scorpio and I like long walks on the beach. I don't know what time I clicked it. What character?
You don't know your in-game zodiac? You're
a Sealing Stone.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, you're never getting it, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why did you pick that, bro?
You literally can't hit Tet Black Star. Or
you literally can't. You might be able to make.
You guys are so pog, dude. It's weird. It's weird how pog you guys are.
If you're not Key or Black Dragon, there's no way that you'll ever hit it. I'm sorry.
Imagine not enhancing on Black Dragon. Like, hello.
We've done this from year 1.
We solved that in March, dude. March 2016. We solved that. Come on, where have you been?
I'm 6 out of 6 on pen necklace or Tet necklaces. Okay, so look.
Sealing Stone necklace meta. Okay.
So you're one of those people that tell us the bad stuff, but you don't tell us the good stuff.
I say the good stuff all the time.
You're one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm 0.42 pin, but you've hit 8 freaking Tet accessories in a row with no fail.
No, it's
Did I ever tell you guys that I was actually tracking everybody's pins back in the day before we had the odds? And I was pretty sure that the chances of pin were like 10 to 15% because I averaged together like 100 different people from the Siege scene who had gotten their pins. And it was all like 6 attempts, 12 attempts. Like it was all in that range somewhere. And then the actual numbers came out, and it turns out that it's like 4%. And it's because people who fail a lot either quit the game or just don't talk about it. Turns out that's why there was such a huge discrepancy.
I like you considerably less for have gone through. What the fuck? Why would you do that?
I wanted to know what the odds were. I was trying to.
That's a weird thing to do, man.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You're like, okay. Anyway.
Morris to try hard this game a lot harder than
I used to take this game seriously back.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, he's right now. He's a monster in slumber in BDO.
I saw that come out a little bit with
never
last
a
week.
fresh start for this game.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, I remember the olden days when Mora would have like image overlays for like crescent rings today and like a timer going, and he would keep up with how many crescent rings he got in like a couple days time with the timer up. The olden days.
Mora,
Now,
do you think that swapping servers can potentially give you bonus RNG, Mora?
Here we go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. As long as we're on the same page, we're good.
All right, Marlon.
Biggest, clearest boost to your RNG in this game, though, is literally just not being logged on.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can deny that.
I agree with that.
how many times did you guys see that message? Yo, I came back to the game and I one tapped Pin Blackstar with Jay's hammer.
It happens to me even when I just take like a couple weeks off to go play Cyberpunk or something. I come back and one tap everything.
That's what happened. You took 1 month off for console, Black Desert, and you came back and one tapped all your TED accessories.
Yeah,
and,
dude,
and
they
pinned
do
it.
not want you
Wait,
to leave the
really?
game.
Was it after console that
Bro,
happened?
I had a 2.5 year streak of failing everything I attempted in this game, and I played the game 16 hours a day. Finally, I quit PC for console, and then I clicked 5 TED accessories and a pin weapon in the span of 2 hours.
That was a big stream. I remember
Just
that.
saying.
I don't know, dude. Maybe the PA guys kind of gave you a little oomph. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
They
mean, I
fined it
did
up, right?
bribe Richter to turn up my slider once he got in there. But
JJ thought you were cute and sent a letter off to Cacao Games.
is that what it was?
Yeah.
JJ's out of my league. I don't think so.
Yeah. True. How was your week, Morlin?
Pretty good. I played a lot of Awaken Nova. I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. Got some good PvP on season. I also started a Hollow Knight playthrough yesterday, which has been extremely enjoyable. Very comfy game. Gonna play some more of that tonight, I think. My season enhancing, as always, is a complete catastrophe. It takes me like 10 attempts to hit a Tet armor piece on 27%. So I'm working on that right now.
Making some good fail stacks.
Yeah, I've made, I think, like a dozen 50 stacks that I just keep planting on my alts while I fail these Tet pieces. But I'm definitely ready for Awakened Blackstar. I got tons of try Blackstar stacks ready to go.
What's a good stack for that?
I used to do, it's been a while, but I think I used to do Duo at 40 and try from 60 to 80. And then Tet starting at like 100 or 110. It was something like that, and it was pretty profitable. So when those Awakened weapons come out, that should be just really, really good money for a while.
True. Oh,
Yeah.
I should buy all of the weapons now.
What weapons?
I should buy all the Blackstar weapons now, or all the like boss weapons now, so I can make Blackstars when they come out.
Yeah, boss weapons are so flooded, though. I think the remnants will probably go up before the boss weapons do. But yeah, we might run out of Zarkas and stuff.
You can make
I
one
think
per
your
character,
biggest
probably.
limiter is going to be Spectre's energy, right? Because you need 1 Spectre's energy per Blackstar Awakening weapon.
For the weapon? Really?
Yeah, the weapon needs Spectre's energy.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the armor. That's
Well,
new.
I've sold like 8 of those to vendors, so maybe I should stop
They
doing
learned
that.
their lesson from people like me running every single alt through that Blackstar weapon quest and flooding the market.
Mm-hmm.
Did you really run alts through the Blackstar quest line?
Yeah, I did it like, I didn't do every character, but I did like maybe 10 of my characters.
I mean, that was pretty good money. I just didn't know that you actually did that. Did you do it off stream?
No, I did it on stream. It was super easy. The quest itself was really fast. It's like half an hour or something. And then I would slam that shit to Tet over the course of a few hours.
Oh, you're talking about actually enhancing them to TED.
Yeah, and I would spend like, maybe $5 bill enhancing it and sell it for like 14. It was fucking sweet.
Rip the claw market. Feels bad, man.
Rip.
I bought like 2,000 of those when they hit the during the last event, though. That was pretty nice. I still have a ton left.
Yeah, it's probably time to start stockpiling them again, honestly.
Well, yeah, they're still super sold out is the problem.
Yeah.
Especially with the new Blackstar gear that got announced on Global Labs. We got the full set now.
Yep. The
Oh boy.
Time to go to Pila Coup on season server, so you can start
It's so
stockpiling.
full, dude.
Yo, pirates, right?
Really? I went to Arsha on Pilaku, and there was one guy there. Like, it was super dead. I had to really look for fights.
Well, I've had people complaining that they can't get a spot there.
I've heard EU is packed, but on NA, I haven't seen anyone out there.
It's not efficient silver per hour, so the NA players stop playing seasons.
It's great season grind. You get all kinds of loot out there on season.
So I'm actually really interested in how your week has been, Potion. I have been watching a lot of your stream, man. I've been past couple days. I've really thought about, because Potion's been doing this infinite stream, and I'm like really trying to think about, you know, as a seasoned streamer, how difficult the thing that you're doing is. So how you holding up, man? I've been excited to talk to you.
So if people don't know, the backstory is I decided to do an infinite stream a little before Nova Awakening and Succession came out. The idea is that you can tip or sub and it increases the time, and chat gets to determine how long I stream. It went up to 112 hours at one point, and since then it's back down to about 83 hours right now. I think the main thing is just figuring out a balance between like life and actually streaming, because it's like you just don't have any free time, and I sleep on camera, so like the stream's just on 24/7. So that work life, like sort of like work life balance, like. You'd be surprised what you can get done in 3 minutes. I take a 3-minute break every hour. And so, like, 3 minutes is dishes. The next 3 minutes is putting clothes. And the next 3 minutes is, like, something else. Clean up the dishwasher. I don't know. So it's like every 3 minutes I'm doing something, you know, whether it be cleaning up my room a little bit or whatever.
Do you live with anybody?
I live with my family.
Okay. So that probably helps out quite a bit, huh?
It helps out a little bit, but I try to be independent with it all, so I don't try to lean on my family. I don't want to be a burden to any of them. So,
That's fair.
What I did is I had a day off right before I started, and so I went and I bought like 4 liters of soda, like 12 gallons of water, and a whole bunch of other like V8 drinks and stuff like that. Just kind of getting stuff ready for it, and we already have plenty of food in the place, so that wasn't necessarily something I had to focus on, but. I don't know. It's been fun. It's been interesting. It's the whole goal of it was to raise money for a new music album. I'm trying to release more DMCA free music, and so that basically is the kind of like the underlying purpose for it all. And it's just kind of fun too, for like the chat and for me.
Yeah, I like it. You know, you're streaming. You're basically getting $10 an hour to stream, right? The way you got it set up. So
Yeah.
that's better than a part-time job.
Yep, I think
Even
it's
while
pretty
you
good.
sleep. Yeah. Well, I hope you're doing okay, man. That's you know, I get into like 18 hours and stuff. I guess you know, when you're sleeping. I think the only burning question I have is, what's the first thing you're gonna do when your stream ends?
Probably watch anime. My hands need a break. Like, that's the biggest thing, is there's no chill for your hands. So you're just constantly like, imagine like going and walking down the street, but you just don't stop walking for like days. And like your legs just get more and more and more and more tired, and it's just no reprieve.
Yeah.
And you're playing Nova Awakening, right? Which is like super, like a lot of APM.
Yeah.
Like constantly pressing.
I have gotten very ergonomic with my setup though. I mean, I was like, all right, we're gonna move the mouse pad 1 centimeter to the right. Move the mouse. The keyboard needs to have a 10-degree tilt. Like, oh, bro, I have min-maxed my ergonomics of it all, and my fingers still get tired, but I don't get any like a discomfort with my joints or like carpal tunnel or anything like that. So it's not a problem.
Somebody in my chat just called you the Forrest Gump of streaming.
I just started to run.
I just started to stream.
Anyway, that's about what I've been up to. As far as like in-game stuff, which I think is more pertinent to people who watch the podcast, but I've been obviously doing Nova Awakening. I'm 10% in towards 63. My goal is to get to 63, and then can make a choice if I want to continue playing it, or I really want to play Lawn Awakening and Lawn Succession. I have that been on AFK Train dummies. It's up to about 40% now. So that's what I really want to play, but you know, I can't give the opportunity to play Nova Awakening, the brand new class, and all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised with all the grinding that you're not doing the big cozy suck grind, dude. I know you said on stream that I think you're doing that next week or something.
Yeah, I was going to do Succession week 2 if I didn't like Awakening, and I really like Awakening. I think it's one of the most smooth classes they've released. We can get into that, but I think it did a superb job with it. So I'll probably be staying to the Awakening.
Well, I don't want to distract from the conversation too much. I had a pretty just innocuous week. I got real drunk a couple days ago and got back to a fun little drunk stream, so that was cool. And I've been working to get my Tet Black Star back as we've talked about. So I'm doing a little grinding now. I ran out of resources and shit.
Did you click it to pen raw twice?
Yes.
Okay.
Bio, I'm glad you tabbed in for that part.
So I actually want to point out here that Khur has raw tapped it to pin once, and Bio has done that accidentally. And so I think the only people who haven't done that is you right now, Moro, and I guess me, but I'll probably just buy from the marketplace.
I've never ever attempted pin Black Star. There could be a one tap just waiting for me.
Yeah, you didn't.
I
Nope, you have to find out for that
reached out
Awakening.
and bought one.
Oh, sorry, we kind of cut off Tim. I was going to ask what you're planning to do for the Black Star Awakening, though, Marlon.
I've got one J Hammer saved up, so I have enough stacks where I should be able to get it to Tet. And then I've got one J Hammer to slam for pin. Otherwise, I'm going to buy it from you. Can you make me one, please?
I'll see.
Ooh. So I've been working on that, but once I'm done with this thing, I'm gonna go back to. I still have like easy Kaffir's levels I need to grab and stuff like that. So I'm gonna buy some like red nose accessories, pen accessories, and it's just been a while since I've had like a gear increase. So I rolled the dice on the whole pen neck thing. As much as I wanted to get lucky, I need to go back to being efficient, not raw tapping because I'm tilted and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at for now with the game. But it's been cool. I'm also getting hunting and gathering to Guru 1. So I'm at Master 5 hunting and Master 21 gathering. And so those have been fun. I had Mermaid on tap on a Discord call in my stream the other night. We stayed up till like 5 or 6 a.m. chilling. So, and when I get too drunk to hunt, she just kills the mobs for me. It was pretty pog.
That's the best way to do hunting, dude. Honestly, I wonder if that's why they won't buff hunting, is because you can boost people with it.
I don't know. So yeah, I mean, let's get right back into. I didn't really do anything with Nova. I want to stay on my Guardian. I really enjoy Guardian, and I feel like it's underappreciated, except for apparently in one streamer's stream for grinding. But I enjoy the challenge of it. So I'm not really looking to reroll. And, rerolling was always kind of a temptation for me when a class came out once a year. Now that we're getting a couple a year, I don't care. It just really takes a value out of that for me. So how you guys doing with Nova? What do you think about it now that it's actually out?
It's definitely super fun. The Awakening is. But
Yeah, I think they
damage
did
is
a
kind of
surprisingly good job.
I feel like it's everything I wanted out of a class. Just about. It has the mobility. It's fun. It's not overtuned. I think it's the best class they've released probably since Lawn Awakening. Maybe even better.
Better? Like, how are you using that term? Like, how clean it is? Just how balanced it is? How fun it is?
Well, when Lawn came out, I felt like Lawn in PvE was a very balanced class and a very fun class. And the last class that was both fun and balanced in PvE was Lawn, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think Hosh or Guardian were fun in PvE? Or you think they were just overpowered?
I didn't like Guardian at all, but that's more of a preference thing because I just don't like slow classes. So I think anybody who doesn't mind that probably loves it, right? For Hashashin, I felt it felt mechanical to me. It didn't feel smooth. It felt mechanical, and I didn't like that.
I don't really like slow classes either, but Awakened Guardian is undeniably a buttery smooth, disgustingly sick grind. Like, I'm surprised you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably pick it up and level 62 at some point, but it's I don't know, it's not my cup of tea.
It was probably the closest I've ever gotten to reroll was Guardian.
Yeah,
Just
I was real close too.
Because of how laid back it is. Like you could just kind of like go forever and never really have to think a whole lot about it in terms of PvE. It was pretty nice.
It's such a good streamer PvE class. Or if you just watch Netflix or something and want to, got a bunch of time.
True. I like Nova Succession a little better than I did the Awakening on Guardian. I don't know, maybe this is a preference thing. I feel like things connect together with when I'm doing abilities.
In Succession Nova? What you said a couple. Okay, not Guardian. You said Guardian at some point.
Oh, my bad.
So you think the Succession is more fluid in Nova than the Awakening?
I think there's two different things. I think it's like how the abilities like go one into the next, and then there's also like how they combine together in random orders. Like I feel like you can pick random different abilities in the Succession Nova, and they all just kind of work together. But I feel like you have to do the correct order when you play Guardian Awakening. And that's I think the difference there is like one offers more freedom, while the other one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're comparing Guardian to Nova,
right?
Okay.
Because I do think that Nova Succession is I like it better, but I think that's the only thing I can really find that's different about the two.
Yeah, there's definitely a cadence that you have to learn. Skuko in Twitch chat is really good at finding that kind of smooth balance. He does it with Striker too. And I think there is a lot of classes that you're supposed to do skills in a certain way, but the Guardian's really smooth if you do it right. And if you don't do it right and don't work with the animations, then it's blocky and chunky, which was what a lot of people said when it first came out. But yeah, that Nova shit looks real fucking smooth, man. No matter how you slap it around.
One thing I've been really surprised about is it doesn't seem overpowered for PvE. Have you guys heard that?
Yes, I have heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised because you can pull 4,500 trash loot at 245 Kudum, but getting more gear score doesn't net you a whole lot more trash in Sakraya. There's somebody who was 287 and he's only pulling 500 to 1,000 more trash loot. And it's not that a big difference. And I found that really interesting that they were able to make it really powerful for low end gear at Sakraya, but at the same time not overpowered for high end gear.
Summons, right? Because summons don't get the AP brackets.
Oh, they don't?
Sakraya.
Summons don't get AP brackets. So they have the flat amount of AP and they get a little bit of damage scaling from your let's say you have 269 AP, right? They're not getting that extra hidden bracket AP. That's why summons are super strong early, but they fall off later. So they keep having to buff them up.
They made some adjustment with summon AP last year. I don't remember the details. Tim, do you remember what the details were?
They brought up the flat base. There's not scaling pets. They brought it
still
up.
Not a scaling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that makes Striker. That's why Striker got so much better, as it went from 50 AP to 100 base AP. Same with Witch Whiz Pet. So it just brought it into today's world, but they kept the meta of flat AP.
So
you got it. Also explains why Awakened Witch and Wizard are so insanely busted at the start of a new season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And then you need to consider with Sakraya 2 Potion that it's a lot like Hystria, where you can outgear the place, but if you don't pull it correctly, you're really not going to see that increase in trash per hour. There's a kind of a critical mass, whatever that's called, where you can outgear it and probably only get 5,000 trash per hour. And then once you really learn and master the pulls is where you start getting the 5.5 and 6K areas.
Yeah, I believe that's true for sure. And maybe it's just that learning curve is still we haven't hit that yet.
Yeah, and it's probably different for every class too, even though you're kind of always just slowly pulling. Doing that with Guardian's really hard because obviously we're pretty turrety. Witch Wizard non-succession has a tough time with that too. But so some classes are always going to be better there. But it is very much like the new history, in my opinion, with the pulls almost matter more than the gear.
Do you guys prefer statue or main?
What is with everybody freaking out about statue all of a sudden? Is it really?
Bro, there's crazy videos of Sucklons being able to pull 12K trash with a gold loot scroll.
Well, the thing is, there's two things. One, Succulon is OP, I think, and I've just come to realize that recently. But two, the tower rotation is like no travel time. So all the rotations, you have a lot of travel time, and with tower rotation, you don't have that. And so I think it's been low key good for a super long time. I actually, when I first went to Scry, that's where I grinded. But then everybody said, no, main. And I was like, well, okay. And so, yeah, I think it's just people kind of started realizing it's really good. But I do think that Succession Lawn is a bad, call out just because it's really strong.
Barometer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one thing people need to realize across the board is that there are very few people in this game who are actually innovating things that already have an established meta. So when it comes to something like grinding Sakraya, almost no one, like 1 in 1,000 people, is actually going to try something new. Even very high-end players are just following a meta when it comes to that stuff. So if you spot something or you feel like experimenting, there's a really good chance that you can find a better way of doing that than other people. It's not like other MMOs. It's not like WoW where everything is solved by people like in beta before the game even comes out. Most people in this game just follow what they see on YouTube. There's lots of room for innovation still.
That's really true.
Very true. Yeah. Like people and just in general, people don't think outside the box at all in this game. I mean, obviously some of them do, but it's like crazy how like meta slave people become.
Yep.
I
think it's part of just because of how complicated and overwhelming the game can be.
Yeah, true. But that's a good thing. I mean, like I like that about the game. That's not bad by any means.
The meta is following though. Like people are too lazy to even do math on like marketplace stuff. I find myself slipping into that trap every once in a while.
Yeah. I was going to ask, does anyone know anything about Nova at Ash Forest? I'm curious how the summons perform there, or just in general, if anyone is aware of it.
I'd like to know that too.
I would expect the Succession to be pretty strong there, but not the Awakening.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Awakening, you'd have to swap back into pre-awakened skills, I feel like, in order to stay. I don't know how you would stay alive out there.
I think staying alive is possible.
Does she have a lot of hits on her skills? Because Ash Forest is like HP on hit is huge at Ash Forest. So I don't know what her awakening looks like.
Some of her skills, yeah, she's got a few skills that hit a ton of times that like stay there, but they're also long animations. So you're kind of like locked into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think the hits would definitely be sustainable. It'd take like you'd have to be. I would always play Succession though. I don't think there would be any reason not to.
She has a very good round of buffs on her Awakened. There's like a 4-skill combo you can do where you DP shred, evasion shred, and then you also AP buff your stealth and cast speed buff yourself, all within like a pretty fast rotation. So in terms of like buffs and uptime, I think it's something that's definitely built for end-game grind spots, but I'm just not so sure about her Awakening survivability in a situation like that. Someone would have to test it. And I also get the sense that Succession is just going to have bigger AoEs and more consistent damage.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the AoEs over there are so important because the mobs just run around like crazy. So like I didn't play a ton with the Succession or the Awaken, but the pre-Awaken kit like indicated to me that it might be really good for that. But I don't know. At the end of the day, like you kind of test it to see how the damage is. Yeah,
the Succession is basically the pre-Awakening, except there's a big demon who comes on top of all your skills and like does a strafing run and adds more damage. So I think it'd be pretty good for Ash Forest. The Awakening, I think, would probably be like B tier.
Can you kite?
Am I an idiot,
Ash?
or did like the rest of you guys take like 5 minutes to try and figure out how to actually summon that thing?
Oh yeah,
I couldn't figure out how to actually summon.
I like summoned it and then desummoned it without realizing it. So I was like, "Why isn't it working?" And then I had to summon it again. So yeah, it was a little clunky at first.
I was like looking through all the skills. I'm like, where is the skill to actually summon this thing?
So for me with Nova, I kind of got burnt out. Like I did the season thing, and I never want to touch it again because like just playing a class as pre-awakening sucks so bad. Like I just get so turned off by that. I really, really wish they'd stop doing that, man. Like after 2 weeks, I said it before, like the reason I'd really kind of quit Hash is like it was fine, it was fun, it was different, because I don't play a lot of iframe classes, but like my iron got cold, I wasn't really interested. after 2 weeks of playing the game and only being pre-awakened. It kind of happened to me again with Nova. I just rather kind of move on with my gaming and leave it in the dust. What brings why are you playing Nova, Khur?
Oh, I mean, I usually always play the new class that comes out for like a week or two, just kind of as a, mix things up, trying to have a new flavor to the game. But the weirdest thing for me was that they nerfed her this week after she was only out for 2 weeks. So her minions had 100% crit rate in PvP. They changed that to PvE only. So that's kind of like has really affected the way her damage feels in PvP. Like I even at like 297, with the Trinuver, it still feels like the damage is with Succession is the same as it was with Awakening, just because of that loss of 100% crit. I don't know if you guys have felt the same, but
dude, I love week 1 nerfs in this game. It just there's so blatant how little testing they do when they're pumping these new classes out. The stuff that slips through. Did you see the Awakened? What is it? It's the down F, I think, has just straight up incorrect tooltip regarding CC and super armor.
Really?
It says that it has super armor. But not only does it not have super armor, it does have a stiffen that's invisible.
Yeah,
so
there's a hidden stiffen on that.
Yeah, pro tip there for any Awakened Novas. You have an extra stiffen that the game has not told you about that's actually very good.
That's weird.
Yep.
Yeah, I have found a plethora of bugs on the Awakening. Although it feels really fun to play, if you talk to an NPC while you have Unguard going on, then it cancels your Unguard. This includes the NPC for the skill points. So if you're in Unguard and you're like, oh, let me pick up the skill point bonus. Like, oh, Unguard's gone. You'll still keep ticking down, but it's gone. If you talk to the repair NPC in Sakraya, or you talk to your Tint, you pull up your Black Spirit, all that stuff, it's just Unguard's gone.
Why are you repairing while your Unguard is on, though?
I'm repairing because it allows me to get to my tent faster and then get back faster because I can just dash.
Oh, so you're end guarding, dashing over to repair, and then dashing back. Okay,
yeah.
I see. Yeah, okay.
So, and it's really nice when your tent's just a little ways away, or like Sakraya main rotation is so close. But yeah, the main I kept having go off several times, and there's also a bug with Unguard where there's like several abilities you lock them, and then you're in Unguard, they'll unlock. Even if you have the lock key locked, so they'll still lock and go off, or still unlock and go off. So that's another
Which
thing.
skills are you locking?
I'm locking Star's Ring because Unguard has 1 minute cooldown on it, so getting additional fuses in PvE is just pointless. So I wanted to stop accidentally throwing them out there. Well, it turns out they just go off anyway because your forward right click when you're in Unguard will trigger it to happen, and it just permanently unlocks your left click and for the rest of the time you're in Unguard.
What are you pressing that's accidentally triggering Star's Ring?
So Star's forward right click. When you do forward right click, you sweep forward. Well, when you do that and you're in Unguard, it also will throw out a left click if you hold it down. And so I'll just hold it down and I'll release the S first, or I'll release the W first. And so it'll just throw out a left click, and then at that point I'm just throwing them out and wasting time. So I was trying to lock it because I was trying to figure out like how am I doing it so I would prevent doing it, and I found out there was like bug there. So now I'm just throwing out those little star rings all the time. Anyway, that's just another one.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that.
So there's a few little bugs like that are out there. I had a problem with Unguard automatically turning off. So like I'm just grinding and you activate Unguard, and then there's one of your abilities will just like randomly turn it off because it casts the regular version of the ability after you click the Unguard. So like for example, if you do like if you do swooping ring to activate your Unguard, and then follow up with another ability, if the servers lag or there's desync or something like that, I don't know why, but sometimes it will just not activate your Unguard properly. It'll just be Unguard will just remain off even though it's counting down. So there's a few bugs there. It's not anything game breaking like trash wise or anything like that, but hopefully they'll get those tidied up in a few weeks. I think the class is oddly enough the most polished class, while at the same time has the most bugs I've ever seen on a class. So I feel like both of those are somehow true at the same time.
I do feel like the design behind the Awakening and to some extent the pre-Awakening is a lot cleaner than previous. Like the Awakening, there's no bullshit. There's no wasted skills. There's no, like, everything is useful and it's all, I don't know, it all fits together very nicely. The pre-Awakening, maybe not so much, but it does seem way less bloated than other kits in terms of just like looking at it and figuring out what's useful and why it would be useful and how.
Have any of you guys fucked with Succession in a major way?
I tried it 1 hour in Sakurai. I pulled like 3,000 trash for my first hour. It's just a big kiting class, so I figured out. I looked up some videos on it. It's just, yeah, I get really, really good at kiting.
Maybe the pre-awaken kits there just to be like an appetizer for the main skills in, Succession. There's no way that, pre-awaken's supposed to make sense, by itself at all, especially if they're making classes right now. But I think it's pretty cool that there's no bloat in the awakening kit, because like trying to figure out what to lock is like such a new player problem kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think locking right now for me is more about training for me. That's the only reason I lock now. It's like, okay, what ability am I accidentally misusing? And so I'll lock it temporarily, learn how to play properly, and then I'll unlock it. And then I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Like
I've really just started unlocking stuff with Awakened Guardian that I've kept locked just out of habit and out of, being a meta slave and stuff like that for a while. It's like, well, in PvE, I can use a lot of these filler things if I'm careful. So.
Absolutely.
I think as far as like developing a class and stuff like that in the play test, I think it's really, really hard to play test a class unless, the devs don't really play the game except for those two guys that waved at the Heidel Ball. But as far as play testing it like a large scale and shit like that, there's no excuse for not putting stiffen on something that stiffens. But I cut them some slack when it's like week 1, they were taking crit off of everything because they're paying attention to see how it didn't really flesh itself out. Because with Guardian, they didn't touch Guardian, remember, for months. There was no nerfs or buffs. They just like cleaned up a couple of things, but it was super way over tanky for months and months and months. And everybody was asking, when's the Guardian buff debuff? When's the Guardian nerf? Stuff like that. And it just it didn't come through until.
That's true. At least we didn't get another spiral torpedo.
Oh, God.
Do you guys
I'm
prefer
really
it that way,
curious to
though?
see how this shapes up in Siege, though. Between the ice wall and the vacuum, I think there's going to be like some really interesting shifts actually in large scale if people actually use these skills correctly.
What did you say, Khur?
Do you guys prefer it that way? Like, so kind of with Nova, it's a global release, right? So I guess you can expect that they're releasing the class probably a little undertuned, because normally we're used to Korea getting it 2 weeks to a month early. And then they kind of like do changes in the weeks that we're waiting for it to come. Like, do you prefer it that way, or would you prefer that Korea, has it fleshed out by the time it comes to us?
I hate Korea getting stuff early. I think it's one of the worst things that happens in this game. It ruins all the excitement and the mystery and the figuring it out phase for the other regions.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, both
globally the better.
Yeah, sorry, say again.
Oh, I said the more content they can release globally, the better. Like global build win. I think they should
absolutely
prioritize that.
Absolutely, I agree.
There's no way that the publishing change isn't a step towards that, right? Because they talked that they wanted to do it before, and it turned out to be a massive fucking joke. Do you think they might consider doing more global release content because it will be globally published by their publishing branch?
Well, they self-publish every other region except this one now, right? So are those areas getting
South
releases
America
faster? I don't know that they are.
South America has that other company. That's right.
SA has like Red something.
Red
Fox or Red
Fox.
Dog or Red.
Yeah, it's
Uncle.
Red something. I forget what it was called.
I think what they're probably going to do short term is they've already done this global war thing where they have like Japan versus Korea and stuff. And I think they'll try to doing that, and that'll probably be a mess because of the desync and lag and everything. That's one thing I know they want to do. As long as a global patch, isn't every server other than Korea and console on the same patch?
I mean, Japan versus Korea is probably less laggy than West Coast versus East Coast, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've never seen a map. I don't know.
It's 50 ping
We're gonna
roughly.
have to, if we get involved in that global siege thing, we're gonna have to revitalize Cho Nation so we have a chance.
What happened to Cho Nation?
They all quit the game and work at McDonald's because PA got nerfed.
Did you get
Are
that
they
right out of the
actually
Cho Nation
struggling?
Discord?
I haven't been paying
Are they what?
Wait, are they actually struggling in Siege, or are you just memeing?
No, it was a nerf to succession wizard. We went over this last week. The meme was because they were all just PA bots, right? So they're like, well, PA's gone, we're fucked, but it actually buffed them because succession wizard with 310 AP Kudum's actually fucking disgusting. Still, even though they don't have, the old school PA. Sorry, a little bit of world chat meme in the podcast. My bad.
You're good. I got it. I guess this is what how do you think they're going to actually carry through with a lot of these node word changes that they were talking about during
I hope so. At this point, even if they're bad changes, I'm just bored. I hope that they change it.
Well, it takes all about 5 minutes for somebody to come into my chat and go, when are you going to restart Aftershock? And like my answer to that is when they have to cap siege mercs. Like I've gone down there. Like anybody can just get, 50 idiots that go, hey, anybody want to fuck Tim Allen? Anybody want to fuck this guild? Anybody want to fuck these people? Nobody has fun doing it, and they just do it just to be toxic. So once they get rid of that and they force guild identities to actually matter, the only guilds that can really be successful in Siege are the ones that are already established and they all play fucking, hand job, fuck games with each other, circle jerking. But Siege is going to be dead until the changes come through. Yep. Node wars are around. Sometimes there's some good fights. The PA changes are definitely positive, but the way all this stuff works has to change, or else it doesn't matter. I heard Shaky Bay was starting a Siege guild to try to kill Cho Nation.
I'll join.
Honestly, I would too, because I like no meme. I have a ton of respect for somebody who's trying to build a Siege guild right now, because it's like, holy fuck, I couldn't think of a worse time.
He has a really bad track record with the guilds, though.
But whoa, take that back.
Shaky Bay, how many guilds has he started?
One. He just changes the name.
Oh, okay. Well, that's completely different then. I guess that's fine. Yeah, I'll join.
No, you are
you don't
serfdom to Aftershock. You're not allowed to leave. You are owned by the guilds.
All right, I'll keep holding Aftershock name down. I had someone come by yesterday and they're like, that's still a guild? I was like, yeah, we're just sleeping giants right now. And they're like, it's like, oh.
I'm shot calling tonight. I'm going to Balanos or Serendia, and I'm shot calling for a guild tonight. So ooh. I'm making a return to Siege.
Speaking of which, Moreland, you did Siege last week. How was that?
Pretty much still kind of shitty. I was actually surprised while I was sieging of how many people came into my chat and said like, "Oh, PA's gone. Is Siege fixed? Like, is it fixed now?" And it's like, no, like not even close. Like there's so many stacked issues with Siege right now that I think people have kind of forgotten how many there were, because like we've been complaining about mercs and PA for so long, but it turns out there's still like a dozen other things that are severely wrong with Siege and PvP in this game in general. So like I don't know, man.
Well, what would be an example?
Yeah.
What's a few examples for people who might not know them?
Okay, so I'll just give you the rundown of how. First of all, how many guilds do you guys think are actively sieging in BDO right now?
That actually care? Is it really 8 even?
I think 8 actually might sound about right. So like the fight on Balanos, there's 3 guilds there. I think one of the guilds was an alliance that also merked really heavily. It was Raven's Edge, Ingenium, and then Hexon. And Hexon, I don't know what 2 guilds they were. I think Cotton might have been one of them. I don't know. If it's not Cotton, I'm sorry. The Hexon alliance like clearly had the most people there, right? And so the first thing that they do is they contact Raven's Edge so that they can 2v1 Ingenium. And so I'm merking into Raven's Edge, and we go and start blasting Ingenium, and it's like, 100 plus people versus about 40 or whatever the Ingenium brings. It's complete shit show. It's not fun at all for anyone on either side. And so after about 10 minutes of that, it's like, hey, this isn't much of a fight. Why don't we not 2v1 Ingenium, and instead let's go 2v1 Hexon, because they clearly have twice as many people as the other two guilds. And so we switch sides, and the Hexon people immediately get like super fucking butthurt sweaty and start talking about how we backstabbed them. And it's like, bro, we didn't even go into the siege agreeing to do anything. We made like a spur of the moment, yeah, let's team up in the first few minutes, and then we realized it was bullshit, so we decided not to team up. And we actually had a really good like 2v1 Ingenium and Raven's Edge versus Hexon. Like, it was a really long, close fight, and they held out for several hours. So, like, that was clearly the best fight there. But people in this game just don't want good fights, dude. I don't know what it is. Even on farmlands, like, some of this stuff, I don't actually know if the developers can fix it, because the player base are just such baby raging idiots who refuse to have fun PvPing and just will do anything they can to win, even if it's farmlands and the payout is like an extra 30 mil for that week. So, like, no, Siege isn't fixed. There's a lot that still needs to be done, and part of it is on us too. Like, the devs can't fix anything, or can't fix everything, but yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
So anything besides people? Like, was there a mechanic that annoyed you or anything, or is it really
just a general shitty performance, and like the fact that everything is still really glass cannony, and the meta is still really strong. It's still ranged AoE staff classes that are dominating everything, and like, I don't know, it's the same old problems. So I guess I could like rant about it if you guys want to, but it's the same shit we've already written a book about.
No, it's all right if you don't want to. Whatever.
You still get stuck on walls. Like, if you go within 10 feet of a wall and you stick to it, like it's a gravity well, and you can't move for half an hour, and then you die, and then you respawn inside your fort, and then you get stuck inside the fort. Like, I don't know, dude, it's the same shit.
But there's 10-second respawn timers now, right?
Versus Taiwan Siege.
I didn't watch it. No,
it looked pretty smooth.
Yeah,
which is like always the surprising thing when you kind of watch like the way they do sieges, and you have people running near fences and not getting stuck, and like actually being able to do abilities pretty consistently.
Well, they're probably, I think they have their camera hooked into the main server, probably, right? They probably are like the zero ping, seeing everything from server perspective, not necessarily from player perspective. So
maybe
that's a good point.
That's actually kind of a good point, actually.
Damn, Potion.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking here a little bit. If I was Pro Abyss trying to sell off this hot new Node War system, I'm going to be cheating my way up there.
I think Marlon brings up a good, bigger point too, though, is that the community's kind of always been dog shit in this game, or at least recently it's been a decaying thing. But there's also like a lot of mechanical things that are just wrong with not only Siege but also Node War. And it's almost certainly the same problems. They just get fleshed out because there's more people, right?
Sure.
And so. And a lot of the reason that, like, I don't want to be a BDO partner or whatever the case is we've been screaming in your words, writing books about all the issues that happen. And then when they come out with the rare communique about something that they want or are going to do about Siege or Node War, it's so poggingly out of touch, that it's...
We added ogres and trolls.
Yeah, those are good. You can use them on Balanos and Serindia, and you're not supposed to be able to do that. They've never worked properly.
Yeah, Ingenium spawned an ogre and a troll on our fort at the end, and we just died. Like, there was just nothing we could do. Our whole guild defending, like, our fort just fell over.
Well, there's a reason they weren't supposed to be on Balanos and Serindia. But, yeah, anyway, so shot calling tonight should be interesting, because I've literally never been in a Node War without PA. Or since the PA change. So trying to figure out who goes in first and all that stuff will be, hopefully there's a backup shot caller that can help me out. But it should be fun.
It'd be nice to have an updated perspective on it too, because they have made little small shifts in the meta and stuff over time. So it'd be nice to see, like, if it does feel any better from your perspective, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the only reason I'd be comfortable doing it is I know that I'm gonna have to think on my feet and adapt to the situations and stuff like that. Where a lot of like really mediocre shot callers just they have an idea of this is what you're supposed to do, and you just run it down mid every single time until it works. They put the fault on either gear or their team instead of just trying to adapt to what you have in the situation that you're in. So we'll see.
Do you think them removing PA just kind of more perpetuates the inequality between classes more than like pushes it in a good direction?
I think it does a little bit of both. If that makes sense. Where like the witch wizard meta is actually going to be doubled down on because of how good their kit is, even without PA. But I think it's also going to like really good Kunos and ninjas are going to be invaluable in Awakened Hashishins too. So I think it does a little bit of both. A really good Sork is definitely going to be good, like they've always been. But when there's no PA to work around that, if you're attacking a ball and flanking it, they're going to have to be situationally aware and trained enough to be able to. The ball deals with it without distracting the motion that they're going into or the direction that they're going. So, I think it's going to take a little bit more practice or just out gearing to be able to handle it. But I don't think the meta has shifted too much more. Rat classes are probably going to be valued just a little bit more. Flex teams will be a little bit more effective. And then Witch Wizard all the way, man. Maybe some Guardians and stuff too thrown in there to clean up some shit that the Witch Wiz left over. But that's it.
Have you seen this Nova vacuum, Tim? I actually think it could be pretty disruptive to the whole double teleport meta.
No, I haven't.
It's.
I think I got stuck in it once.
It's a 10-second cooldown, and it's basically has a 10-second uptime. Like it's close to 100% uptime. You might lose like 1 second in the animation, but you can have 2 of these vacuums out pretty much all the time, and they're not huge. But if you get caught in one, you are fucking stuck in it. It is really hard to iframe out of one. I haven't been able to do so. Maybe if you have like a full-blown teleport you can, but it doesn't seem like you can get out of it once you're in it. So
the trick to get out is backpedal.
Backpedal, is that how you get out? Well, either way,
backpedal.
Either way, it's I feel like it could be, I don't know how big of a deal it is, but it's at least the beginning of countering the whole like PA double teleport smork. Like you can't just dive straight forward until you kind of know how much of that space is being controlled. But it would take a decent number of Novas, I guess, for that to actually matter.
Yeah. The one thing I think it's sort of like an onion, right? We have like several layers of bad onion that are this old, and we have to kind of peel them off. And I feel like the protected area and 200% and stuff like that, I feel like that's like the start of getting down to the good onion, which is Node Wars and Siege and stuff like that we like. And I'd like to see what they decide to change next, right? Mercenary system would be another huge thing. Time to kill, healing. There's CCs, super armors. There's a ton of different things they could look into to adjust, and I feel like at least this is like the step in the right direction, and like a sign of hopefully more changes like this to come in the future for Node Wars and Siege.
Onions.
Time to kill could actually fix itself if they just gave us the full Fallen God set, because that would kind of act as like a free 20 DP across the board for pretty much the whole server. That could really do a lot of good things for time to kill and in-game PvP.
They still need to change the DR formula though.
What do you think about like it's going to make the customizability of your gear way less? That's why I don't like it. I think the idea of more DP is at least okay if that's going to be their solution, but I really don't like the idea of not being able to choose between DR, evasion, or some other stuff.
I don't think it's been a choice for many years anyways. I think the last time there were meaningful gear choices in this game were like literally the plus 15 era. They've never done a good job balancing DR and evasion. And all the choices that you have are fake choices and noob traps. So I'm okay with them just kind of washing everything away and having one, universal set that people use, because I just don't think they can balance it any other way.
Part of the problem with choice in this game is like when it's so hard to get your gear, I feel like choice armor is not the best slot to have our choices in, right? Like choice is way better done through offhands and accessories, which are like way cheaper than a full set of armor. You know what I mean? Like you get your choice by choosing an evasion offhand and a centaur belt as opposed to, you know, a Kudum and a Turo. I feel like that makes a lot more sense because then you are not locked into one choice permanently, and you can have both of those things and switch them around. You know?
Yeah, I guess makes sense. I feel like that, like the idea is like you get to a point where you're almost hard capped, and then you know what else do you have to do in the game but you know roll for different sets of gear. I feel like the problem is
I
like
mean, that's the position I'm in, and that's like what I mean. That's what I'm saying. What I like though is like I have lots of different sets that I use, and that's not going away if Fallen God came out because I'm not changing my armor. The multiple different sets I'm building are my different offhands and my different accessories.
yeah, I guess I can see that. So you're saying that when as people catch back up to where you're at, then gear diversity will increase because of accessories and offhands and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you, like if you're an endgame player with 300 plus AP and you don't have an evasion offhand and an accuracy offhand, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those things are really useful in certain situations.
Yeah,
But they're also like relatively cheap. And it's not like, oh, you got to build a whole new set of different type of Fallen God armor. Like that's not a choice. Like I mean, it's a choice, but like there's no flexibility there. You make that choice once and you're locked into it forever because it's so expensive.
It's also very difficult for the average player of this game to do any kind of meaningful research into like what the different gear means or how the stats work or what the formulas are, and B, like actually acquire or test any of that gear for themselves. Like Bio's saying, it's prohibitively expensive to actually have multiple armor sets. If you're a super in-game player, you can afford to have different offhands, so you know that's nice, and maybe a couple different accessories. But most players in this game, the way that DR and evasion work, especially DR, is so unintuitive and so confusing. People aren't really making choices. They're following a guide that they find on Reddit that hopefully has some accurate information on it. And the only reason any of us know anything about any of this is because of one player, Big and Shiny, who's taken hundreds of hours of his own time to research it and put it all into a form that we can kind of understand. So it's like,
well,
is that really a choice? This doesn't strike me as a choice.
I feel like that's slightly exaggerated because I mean, at its core, it's just a UI issue because like we don't see
what part is exaggerated. The DR formula is nowhere in the UI like at all. There's no way you would ever intuit that DR plateaus or that DR percentage is a percent mitigation rather than a bonus to your damage reduction. Like you would never intuit any of those things if Big and Shiny hadn't told you.
The reason that I think it's I think a little exaggerated is because the basics are not that hard to understand, right? You know, accuracy beats evasion, AP beats DR, DR beats accuracy, and you know each one has its like own little cycle. That makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. Now that's not apparent because our UI just combines DP or DR and evasion into one thing, and our half our stats say DP, and we don't know if that means both or one. So I think the UI really fails the players in a big way there. Obviously, the nuance of the high end, you know, scaling and the formula and everything is something that only the top, you know, 1 or 10% people would really care about a whole lot. But I think, you know, at the base, I think it's not very hard to understand.
I think the point is it's something called tribal knowledge, where the only way that you know is if somebody tells you. And I think just as it is in business, in video games, having tribal knowledge is a bad thing. You know, needing a WTF blue and a Big and Shiny. And in a lot of ways, I think a BioHack, right? BioHack basically just opened console and put in cheat codes, and he's got access to every piece of gear in here. And so there's almost like a responsibility. And thankfully, somebody who has all this gear is intelligent and not afraid to do some testing and stuff. But you know, I'd be surprised. I'd be disappointed if Pearl Abyss wasn't paying attention at least a little bit to what BioHack's doing. But as far as the UI not giving us the information that we need, and Big and Shiny figuring out that it's this many points of accuracy to undo points of evasion and all that kind of stuff, that's called tribal knowledge. And that is toxic. It's bad for your business, life, video games, everything. It needs to be front and center, plain.
Yeah, like I guess my example to solve this tribal issue, right? It's like you just have it on your sheet here. You have monster AP, AP, waking AP, evasion, and DR. It'd all just be listed there, along with accuracy.
So more Orland's right. If somebody didn't find it out, we never would have known.
Sure,
and that's
yeah.
that's the problem. That's the point he's trying to make.
One thing that surprises me is that I'll sit down and like I'll hover over the question mark and I say that in parentheses is free AP that you're getting. It's called AP brackets, and people are like, "You getting 181 AP for what?" And they're like, "Because I have AP," and they're like, "I don't get it," you know. And I feel like that's the type of thing that I'd really like to see them start addressing to simplify that process, you know, for newer players. Just so that it's all kind of combined in one place, even if that's in the P menu instead of your inventory or whatever. Just some place to see what the total is, so you don't have to go and put it into a BDO planner and it calculate all your crystals and everything for you, you know. But I get it.
Are
Yeah.
AP brackets listed in game anyway?
Yep.
No.
Oh, not the brackets. No.
Isn't that kind of?
Yeah. I think they
Isn't that
should.
kind of what? What'd you say, Bio?
I said, isn't that kind of crazy that the brackets aren't listed anywhere?
The only
They're, like,
reason
so
that we
critical?
even see the bonus stats at all is because they were data mines. I mean, the developer's intention was to keep all that stuff hidden forever, to keep half the stats in your gear hidden and all the brackets hidden. Basically, every piece of information you would need to make a real decision in this game is all intended to be hidden. It's only
Well,
been
the AP
slowly
brackets
shown over
weren't in
time
the game,
because it's
right? At
data
the beginning?
mined.
Sorry.
No, they were there. They were there the whole time. Yeah, they were discovered. by
No, I
people
tested
doing
them
tests.
pretty extensively, like way back in like 2016, and there weren't any brackets.
They were there definitely by the time the Renown was announced. Renown basically publicized brackets that were already in the game.
Yeah. No, Renown came in, but I thought Renown was like custom they added.
Because brackets really only became impactful above like 253 AP, and I don't think you had that much back then.
Maybe I didn't.
2016.
Yeah, but
Because
I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like 2016 though.
I remember seeing the AP curve back then, and it mapped pretty closely to the brackets that we ended up getting.
Because I mapped out an AP curve like way back in the day, and it was linear. It didn't have any brackets.
The first one I remember
I
seeing
wonder
was
if they
for
snuck it in
Kudum.
sometime during the Pride pen phase.
I remember seeing it first time for Kudum, and then I remember there being a huge lull in players wanting to get gear because they had the soft cap, and people were like, "Well, why do I need more gear? Like, it's only 3 more AP. Like, why does that even matter?" And then magically, like about 2 months later, after everybody was starting to lose interest, they're like, "Hey, by the way, where there's these AP brackets we discovered, and oh wow, like now test accessories are so important. Who would have ever guessed?" And it just really motivated the people to kind of going for pin and going for test accessories and stuff. I feel like
that was them like actually adding the brackets, not revealing existing brackets.
Yeah.
No, they definitely existed before before the Renown system was revealed. I don't know for how long, but there was definitely some time before that where they were already in the game and they were just hidden.
Yeah,
I remember that people believed they were, but I remember doing.
I mean, I could probably fish it up. This is all really old stuff, but I could show you the chart that maps perfectly and shows like the big jump at 261 and 269 and all that. Like people had figured it out.
Yeah, I remember seeing Kudum first, and I remember seeing something about some type of weird AP gain, and people were like, "What is this? Is this gear? Is this like some type of hidden stats?" And we couldn't quite figure that out, and that happened after the Kudum test. It was like a new discovery that it was hidden and like a hidden patch added to the game. That was like the way that I remember it in my head. It's like some type of hidden discovery that wasn't there before because we were testing Kudum before and it wasn't that strong, and now we could see these clear jumps even with all the AP and everything. So I definitely think it was added before Renown, but it wasn't in the game always.
There's also a lot of bad tests back then. That's the other thing to keep in mind is most people don't know how the hell to test something or what like statistics mean in any slight capacity.
Is that WTF blue guy still like blacklist like permanently?
Yeah, I've been trying to say that for a little while. Is the Pearl Abyss is big fucking mad at WTF Blue. They really wanted to keep all that stuff under wraps the best that they possibly could, and he is massively blacklisted from Pearl Abyss. He's tried a couple different times in ways. Cacao Games doesn't care. They're like, yeah, we'll partner you. You can be on the 2018 TwitchCon, extravaganza hosted by Moreland TV, and then they come back and they're like, we can't do that. Like they just can't. They can't have him anywhere near anything official at all.
I mean, I'm sure there's still tons of other stuff that's hidden in the game. Remember those class brackets that suddenly came out of nowhere that we saw? Remember when we saw that patch and we're like, "What the fuck is all this?"
What are you talking
All
about?
those class multipliers, like how
Yeah.
Guardian does, X% damage against this class, and you have a 50% multiplier against one class and 130%
Yeah.
against another class.
The developers made an
so
official
there's
post
still
on that.
tons of hidden shit in the game, and it's, I'm sure that they intend to hide. I'm sure there's an internal struggle at that company between the people who want it to be hidden and the people who are like
And the rational
trying to
people.
make players actually able to figure shit out.
Well, the developer said that they figured they could trust the players for the information. They released it publicly on Global Labs, and with everything versus everything, and then they also revealed the updated numbers that they did. The only thing now is that we don't know, like for new classes, they don't show those, so we don't have that information because they never showed it. But
And the second there's another patch or your launcher downloads anything, all that information is completely gone. You can't rely on it at all.
well, I think the idea would be that they probably, this is obviously, trusting them that they don't change
like
it.
us as much as they trust us. Not at fucking all. They're milking us. We're cows.
I don't know. I give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise, and I think that's the healthy way of doing it. And
Well,
that might
they
not-
haven't proven otherwise. Proven otherwise for years, dude.
well, they showed it. They showed it on Global Labs, and they showed the adjustments on Global Labs. And so until they show something else again, or say that they've been changing things, and we wanted to give you an updated list or something, like I think it's reasonable to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're this lazy and haven't changed it.
They ninja patched
They're heading in a better direction.
in Global Labs.
They were ninja patching stuff that they weren't telling Kakao Games about, and then they would have to go in and they'd be like, "Hey, why is this way?" They'd be like, "Well, we put something in there," and they go, "That wasn't in the patch, and it broke." That's the reason, like, we didn't have any Shadow Arena when it was in BDO, is they would ninja patch this shit, not tell their publisher it breaks something, and then the publisher would look like a fucking asshole. They don't like us, and there's no trust. Sorry, man. That's the proof right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never dealt with any PA people, just the Kakao dudes. So I'm kind of just taking what you guys say, basically.
I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. That's why I'm gonna do it until I see some hard evidence that they're intentionally hiding things from players.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Well, I mean,
every company kind of hides stuff,
Sure.
right? That kind of goes with the principle.
There's literally a long, intricate history of them hiding stuff from the players. We just talked about it for like half an hour.
well, they've also over the years revealed that stuff to us over time.
Exposed.
They revealed stuff after it was data mined.
No, the class versus class thing was never data mined.
You're true.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true. The
yeah,
class
no,
versus class thing they revealed all by themselves. So
No, they
I will
didn't.
agree that that's a step forward.
Wait, what are you talking about? We had all the first class modifiers before they released them. They released them when they changed them, but we had them data mined. I
Yep.
used them a lot before that, and we made comparisons to the new ones versus the old ones. The old ones were data mined ones.
Yep.
People data mine that, right? Back when they equalized it, because we used to get random RNG stats for leveling, and then they equalized it.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
That was when people got the data mine for the stats, right?
They got the old data mine was from my understanding, was just for the internal accuracy and you got for this leveling up and stuff, and HP you would get and stuff. That's what
We
it was.
had full class versus class modifiers data mined before Prolibus changed them and released them.
I don't remember ever seeing that. Maybe I missed it.
There's a lot of stuff in that data mine you probably haven't seen. Most of it's been kept secret.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but there were like I said, there were breakdowns of spreadsheets of this is what it was before based on the data mine, and this is what it is now. So your witches are going to do more damage to this class than they used to.
Oh,
and
they Prolibus released it before stuff during their Hideout Ball. That's when they released it. They released it during Hideout Ball, and then they also posted it on Global Labs. They posted the before.
Yeah,
on
but
Global
he's
Labs.
talking about the data mine from 2017, dude. That was way before the Huddle Ball.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that one had the class modifiers in it. I'm 90% sure. We definitely had them data mined before that.
It's interesting anyway. I think that they are taking steps in the right direction, and honestly, the game is fun to play regardless of what the truth is behind it all. That's good enough for me.
I think the game is fun to play until you have a Pen Gaiath helmet because you're a casual player and you thought that was the boss helmet. and then someone tells you that there's actually a green helmet that's better than that. I don't think that's as fun anymore.
Well, that's you're talking about stuff from like literally years ago. I don't think that's pertinent for relevant like today's conversation topics.
I don't know, man.
I mean, look at how many people. I don't know about that. A lot of people use bad gear in this game because they don't know better.
I mean, Pengeeth was like 5 bill higher than Griffin not long ago, like back in mid-December.
Well, yeah, the difference is the difference before was people just didn't know, period, because the hidden stats were hidden. But today it's just because they're stupid. That's completely different.
It's not though, dude, because they're looking at the DR and they're looking at DR percentage and they're thinking that those stats are going to work together and they're thinking that more DR is going to keep them safe when it's actually a fucking dead stat. Like, do you see my point? There's no way for them to know half of the stuff they need to know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's a good example.
On paper, if you haven't read Big and Shiny's essay, on paper, Gaiath and Griffin look better than Heave. Because you're like, oh, okay, I'm giving up some evasion, but I'm gaining so much DR. Like, so I'm going to be reducing damage. I'll take a few more hits, but I'll reduce the damage, and it'll be worth it because it's boss gear and it's better. Like, I guarantee you that's what your average player believes if they haven't been told otherwise by someone who, like, read Big and Shiny's paper.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I think that was we discussed it at length. Is there any closing thoughts, anyone, on the particular topic? Tim's very happy about the current topic.
What is the current topic exactly? Just hidden stats in general?
Yeah, just hidden stats.
Season Pirates?
Season Pirates, you want to talk about it?
Season Pirates?
I think it's going to be shit, bro. What do you think?
I mean, there's not much to say about it, but I'm pretty hyped.
Black Spirit Claw pieces farming while you're pushing your season shit.
True,
I mean,
dude. I just want to go out there for nostalgia, man, even if it's like not that good. As long as it's equal to like Fogan's in terms of Blackstones, in terms of season loot, then like I think that's fine.
You can
You
sell
get some Black Spirit Claws while you're out there.
all the accessories sell super easy because of the journal.
Yeah, the HP journal. It's true.
Yep. So at least you can make some money with that. Honestly, you used to get like 12 accessories an hour, couldn't you, or something like that?
Oh, maybe more than that now with all the drop bonuses and shit that we have.
That, I think almost all of those are like multi-millions. That might be like actually low key like 70 million an hour or something.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be lit, dude. Why do you guys think that Pirates was like the peak PvE/PvP of this game? Like, what is it about it? Is it just rose-colored glasses?
I got
Like,
it. Nope,
why
I got
was
it for you.
so
I thought about
good?
it. I got you the answer. It's the perfect combination of everything. It's enough risk, but not too much risk, right? You risk the coins. If you get too many coins, you risk them. Someone might come up and kill you. You might lose half your coins. So there's a little bit of risk, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. So if you go out there for some PvP, you're dedicated. You're committed. You're not getting back to shore that fast. And it's the both, right? You have to commit to PvP a little bit, and you have to commit to the PvE a little bit, and it's just a perfect blend. And right now, it's either all gas or all break, and I feel like that's a happy medium of both of those that we lack in every part of BDO nowadays.
How much do you think the fact that like, a lot of the high-end spots are actually dangerous to a lot of players matters? Like, does the fact that like the mobs can actually kill you hurt the PvP in like Sakraya, for example?
People are afraid to lose crystals, so yeah, like there's lots of people who'll just be like, okay, I'll go somewhere else, and bro, normally if there was no risk of losing crystals, they'd be like, all right, I'm gonna kill this dude, you know?
Losing crystals is such an outdated mechanic. I think they just get rid of that shit altogether and add some other kind of penalty for dying.
Fuck you, dude. I have said that on this podcast so many times, and you go, that's the only reason I like them. They should never get rid of that. I love feeding people to mobs. Fuck you, man.
I'm saying they should replace it with a different penalty.
bring back EXP loss on death.
It's something temporary. Like if you die in PvP, then your damage gets nerfed by 90% for the next 15 minutes. Like something like that. Something where you can't come back and be a goddamn nuisance after I dunk you. Because
sort of like in BD Mobile when the bosses.
I mean, like
something where I actually win when I beat you.
All right, I've been trying to sell this to my chat as my idea. All right, so this is what I have. I think if you go negative karma, you just like you lose crystals right now, which means you're losing stats. But if you don't get karma, you just go negative stats. It just gets minused off. You don't lose crystals. You don't lose gear. No ground downgrades. But the more negative karma you go, you might lose a few AP, more AP, more AP. The more negative karma you go, the more stats you just lose. And if you gain that karma back, then you start gaining those stats back. It's just like a penalty stat.
Yeah, I think that'd be good actually. You don't lose gear, you don't downgrade or anything, but your character becomes weaker as you go negative karma. I think that's
But you guys don't think that negative karma should be a playstyle choice though? Like I don't think they should completely because like there's a difference between karma bombing and a person wouldn't be a negative karma.
It would just be nerfed. You would lose like 20 AP or something. You wouldn't lose like the ability to kill anyone.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of a lot though. Like going from 240 to 220
PvP only damage. Like you could still grind, right?
Okay,
They can make it so that you're losing PvP stats if you go negative karma. That's better than what we have now, dude. What we have now is such a joke.
And I figured that what they should do for like if you kill somebody, it should just be they gain 30 seconds on a timer every time you kill somebody up to some type of cap. And so and those respawn timers would double if you're negative karma.
Yeah, either respawn timers or res sickness, one of the two is super needed in PvP.
Well, I got all of my pearl reses together. I consolidated them and I got them on my main, and I have over 150 tiers, and I'm in an undeckable guild. So
that is exactly why people karma bomb people now. You got all for free,
the
right?
current system is clearly just so easy to abuse.
Yeah, I think at least that would be a step in the right direction. I feel like there'd still be holes in it, right? And honestly, people who want to go permanently this PvP mode, there would still need to be some type of solution for them. And I don't think Arsha is a perfect solution because it's the worst of both worlds. If you're trying to grind, you get griefed. And if you're trying to PvP, you get wimpy people to fight all day. So I don't think it's like yeah.
I mean, I love the PvP on Arsha, but I feel like if...
Yeah, I think Arsha is one of the best things they ever did for PvP, but there still should be like some sort of penalty for getting your ass beat 10 times in a row on Arsha. Like you shouldn't just be able to death push as the way you can now.
Yeah, I agree.
The other problem with Arsha is like I feel like it's a little bit exclusive, just from the gear perspective.
Mm-hmm. I want to see them remove the Arsha channel, but add a Arsha grind spot. So it rotates every in-game day at reset, and then so you just have one random grind spot for the day be Arsha on all channels, and so then you could it would incentivize low gear score people sometimes or high gear score people. And if you don't like it, you just go to a different grind spot for that one day.
How about this? We keep the current uncapped Arsha 50% bonus. We add a 269 AP cap Arsha that's a 30% bonus. And then we add a 253 or a 245 cap, like a season gear cap, basically Arsha, that's like a 15% bonus, and just add those permanent additions to the game.
It'd be a good temporary solution. I think long term is splinters the player base. Some people be content to be on the low one forever.
How is that a splinter though? I mean, like we already have channels.
Well, the splinter is basically you would have people who decide I'm never going to go to Arsha, and so then you would just never interact with those people, and it makes it less feel like a world. And our people would be I only play on Arsha, and so they'd just be dedicated to that cause.
I've lost so many brain cells just now.
Well, all right, here's another example in other games, right? In Destiny 2, they have this problem where they have 30% of their player base doing like Crucible PvP mode. They have another 30% wanting to do raids and another 30% doing random activities in the game, and they don't have enough players to actually do all those activities. So what ends up happening is
I don't think we would have enough players to fill out gear capped tiered Arsha channels. What percentage of the player base right now do you think is above the caps that I just mentioned? I think newer players would thrive on channels like that because they'd actually have a chance. They could enjoy PvP and get the bonus for being on a PvP channel without having to go to a 300 AP hyper competitive full-time job Arsha channel like the one we have now.
You can already see this problem already in BDO with seasons. Seasons are either completely dead or they're swamped and filled to the brim with people. And this problem will only increase if you do things like Arsha and stuff like that, where basically when it's good, everybody's there. When it's not good, and so in order to prevent that, there's a reason we have the number of servers that we do, so that people don't feel swamped and like grind spots feel balanced, and you have a healthy amount of players everywhere. So like Seasons already has this problem as it is, and I feel like if you actually make Arsha worth it, you would have the same problem on Arsha. Maybe it would be the high AP one, maybe it'd be the low AP one. I don't know which one would have the problem, but you're just going to have some servers are going to feel super crazy crowded while others are going to be completely empty. Like Polyforest right now on regular servers is completely empty on all channels. You might find one person there, but you go to Polyforest on seasons and it's filled to the brim. And I think that overall that doesn't really bode well because you have some players that just never destined to meet each other, and that everybody's experience of the game is good. So half people want it changed so Polyforest has more grind spots. The other half don't care because they're not grinding Polyforest because they're on regular servers.
But isn't that just like general gear progression though? Like obviously Polyforest is going to be more flooded because you just literally dumped a shit ton of players into a thing where they need to get skill points. They need to find a place to grind up until the 200s. Like,
yeah, I feel like you just conflated like 10 things that have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, well, like you kind of just, that's anecdotal evidence, right? Of course, like that's why it is, because there's outside factors.
The reason, like the whole thing about seasons is so frustrating is like they don't have to have it just on seasons. It can be everywhere. It isn't. It's like they're forcing people into that activity. So I don't think it's a very good experience. And they have several different versions of the game to balance. Then you have the Arsha version, you have the regular season version, you'll have the Hadoom version, the regular servers. You have all these different versions to balance, and you're splitting dev time for all of that. And then it just makes the game worse as a whole because they already don't have enough time to balance life skilling and grind spots as it is.
Any extra dev time at all to put in a tiered Arsha server. One dev can do that and then never think about it again. It doesn't require any. You think there's a team that actively balances the game around the Arsha channel? That doesn't exist.
The team
years ago, and then they clicked yes and went on to the next thing.
Think about it. Right now, you're asking for Arsha changes, and that is because they added Arsha. So inherently, as they add more diversity and more complexity to their game, it gets to the point where it's overwhelming for the devs. They can't do it because like it's too much. It's already too much because they haven't done anything with Arsha in years. Isn't that obvious?
Okay, so then I guess they just shouldn't ever do any PvP or content changes in the game because that'll spread them too thin. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
So people shouldn't do their jobs and do what they get paid to do.
It's a matter of not getting scope bloat, where the game is manageable by the dev team, so they can update things in a reasonable time.
Can you explain to me how adding 2 extra channels that have AP caps that are friendly for new or casual players suddenly bloats the dev time? Like, what exactly in dev's 8-hour day is he going to have to do because those 2 channels exist?
It's the premise behind it. It's the premise behind it. So
just explain what the time, where that extra time would go.
So for your one problem, that's not an issue. But let me explain why the core philosophy behind that is that they could just take some time and update the thing that I want updated, right? So why don't they update Pit of the Undying or Altar Blood or the Savage Rift or the Team Battle's been in the game forever? Or why don't they add more Red Battlefield maps? Why don't they update Arsha? Why don't they update Seasons? Why don't they update Olvia? They haven't touched Olvia in forever. They have too many irons in the fire and they cannot manage them all. So they don't have
the fire going at all and they're not doing nothing.
Yeah, like I think right now that your idea is not a bad idea, but they have so many irons that are trying in the fire that they're trying to keep track of. They're just things are falling through and they never get updated. So they have to choose what things are important for the players that they care about and will actually be manageable by the team.
Okay, so that's a valid point, Potion. Moreland's point is that this is a set it and forget it kind of thing that would be fun. Like they did it with RBF. There's no balancing. The caps are always there. The AP things are always there. If they're bringing on Hadoom and things that will need to be balanced and looked at, class balances, like they did all this PvE stuff this year, while PvP has just been fucking choking and dying. So then they go, well, this year is going to be the year for PvP. And they're going to come out with 3 new classes and something's going to break in PvE. So, you're never going to make anybody always happy. But I think for the sake of you guys are about to cut each other's throats, you guys are both kind of right. You're just not, you're focused on, what Moreland is saying is a set it, forget it that they've done a couple of times. But what you're saying is absolutely right, too, just not in the context of what he was bringing up.
Yeah, I don't think the idea is a bad idea. I think overall the underlying problem with that is that you cannot do that because of the scope of the game. They have to limit the scope of the game in order to a point where they can actually manage it as a team. Because updating life skills once every 3 years, then updating grinding spots once every 3 years, and upgrading PvP once every 3 years is just not a good system.
They should just delete Tamer and take that off the fucking, workbench,
I mean, we're already dead anyway, bro. Just
Why
don't even worry about it, bro. We'll take that hit.
Start there, you know.
If deleting Tamer would get some PvP down balance, some Sork and fucking staff class nerfs, look, I'm down. Fuck it. I'll find another class to play, dude.
There you go, PA. Delete Tamer. Moose is next too.
Yeah. I think the idea is good though, and I like I said, it's not the. I don't think the idea is a bad one to add.
Well, it'd be more interesting than the gear capped RBF that like the same 20 people have been doing for. They probably already stopped, but you know they got to get demoralized at some point to answer a couple of the things that you brought up, Potion. Where like the Savage Rift and Team Battle and all this stuff, they added a new RBF map that they were so fucking proud of. That was just a totally fucking terrible Shadow Arena idea, you know? And so it's got to be demoralizing at some point where they just go, all right, well, fuck these projects.
Yeah. I mean, there's several options for that, right? They could double their team size or they could double their efficiency, but I don't see those being realistic.
They have doubled their team size. They've more than doubled their team size since we started complaining about all this shit.
Let's maybe move on to the events that are happening on. We've got. Do you guys know anything about this? What is this guy that like randomly shows up? I noticed it too late, and I think I killed him and got like fucking nothing. It's kind of a weird event.
Oh, steel nuts.
Steel Nux, yeah.
Nux? Is it Nux or nuts? I think it's nuts. I want to say nuts.
I know you want to say nuts.
Oh fuck.
Oh, I thought he was a Rift boss. Is he something else now?
He spawned when I was doing an Awaken boss scroll for me. And I just gave him 60 energy, and I have no idea what happened after that.
I spammed R on him, and I think I got the easy one on accident, and then I got some item worth like a mil.
I scrolled right past him because I thought he was just a Rift boss.
I haven't seen one yet.
It doesn't spawn underwater, that's why.
Ah, yes.
So apparently you're supposed to be able to choose how much energy you want to spend on Steel Nux, and then depending on how much energy you spend is the shitty reward that you get. I guess you can get some like what are those specters and stuff from him. There's a couple of decent things that drop from it, but I've been grinding for about 20 hours in a place where he can spawn since it's come through, and I've only seen one, and it was at a really random time. I don't really know why they put so much effort into an event that's, you know, I felt like the turkey thing where like a random turkey would spawn and you'd kill it and you get some cron stones. I feel like that's an event. I don't know why I have to like invest energy and read up on what the fuck I'm doing and why it's here. Like I should just be like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. There's a turkey. It died. I got cron stones. Cool. You know?
Bro, you know what I want as
I
an
don't think
event?
the Nux is that complicated, right? You just have to spend energy on the highest one and you get some shit when you kill it.
You know,
I don't think
Why did I get spend energy? I just don't. It doesn't.
I don't think it's very fun. That's my problem with it.
Yeah, that might be it too, right?
I want something.
I think
where...
the problem with all these events is the lack of like a jackpot drop to like get excited about. Like the change to make Afuaro drop the treasures was so good. I get so excited every time I see Afuaro now. We need stuff like that. Like there needs to be like some like oh, I'm gonna get one cronstone from this. Is like, who cares? Like I'd rather have like a 0.0001% chance of winning 1,000 cronstones than winning one cronstone every time, even though mathematically the other one would be better, just because it's like more exciting.
Good point. So what if it's more like using assets that are already in the game, like Afro is going to spawn randomly just because you're playing the game, you know, outside of a safe zone or something like that? I think that would probably be better than having Steel Nux appear with a gold beam on him and you spend energy for some shit. That doesn't matter.
Well, Steel Nux is using existing assets, like he's a Rift boss.
So what events do you guys think have been the most successful? Because like the one that immediately comes to mind for me is Golden Daggers. You used to fucking like
dude, I remember
leave
Golden
your
Daggers.
family so that you could play the Golden Dagger event.
The
Like,
golden puppies, bro. Fuck.
dude, like you could get a phone call from the emergency room and you'd be like, sorry, I'm busy. There's a Golden Dagger event. Like
gathering. Well, it was good because it hit. I think the only reason they can't do that is because they can't control fish spotters, right?
True.
is that really it? I think fishing killed it. What they could make it gather and grind only.
Well,
They
there's also
could.
bots for gathering now.
Is there? Where do I get them?
There's one for chopping wood. He's just out there chopping behind an old North Kai Mountains. Jordan was trying to track him down. He was like Guru 33 or something.
Oh, WVV. Yeah, he's like in the G40s now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's way up there.
Jesus Christ, this is like a well-known botter and nothing happens ever.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He's been around for a long time.
What's the name on your pins again? Potion Shop?
Should we look at these right now? Oh, they're copies. They don't have any names. Ah, that's too bad. No, let me see. Maybe I'll go to my Sork.
Yeah, I think you can give up your 3,000 Sakurai trash per hour to figure this out.
My Basti's WWW. I remember that one. Not suspicious at all.
Sorry, that was toxic. No, I need to know.
3,000. Wait a second. Is that what you're up to? Is that what Khur was laughing about?
No.
Yeah.
No, his cat farted. He's dying.
The not Razor, Golden. Let's see, WWW, which I think was actually one of Ari Love's accounts. Type Mood 2, which apparently the first one and second one got banned, so Type Mood 2. And then my Crescent doesn't have a name on it. Oh yeah, we have my J Cools is my armor, and Stoddy is my helmet.
So somebody in chat says he was banned. VVVWWVVW was banned at Guru 42.
Ah, they finally got him.
F's in chat for VVVWWVVWW.
That's crazy though. G42 just from chopping trees, not even like gathering herbs and shit. Like that's
It's a lot of botting.
That's insane.
And you gotta think of the economy on that. Like the economy, like the amount of impact he probably had on the marketplace.
Maybe he's the one fixing Caphras. Maybe we should be thanking him.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be selling Caphras. And same, all the U boys agree with me. They don't want Caphras at 2.1. They want them at 3 mil.
Oh, the E-boys. What?
As annoying as
The EU boys.
bots in this game are, I have to say, like, it's actually not as bad in some cases. Like, I remember in like Ion, I think like you know how we have the event-driven economy where like you got to buy shit like during events. In that game for a while, it was like the bot-driven economy. Yeah, like a new bot would come out, and then you'd have to like buy up all the resources while they were cheap because the bots were farming them all.
Yeah, the entire consumable crafting economy in Classic WoW right now is completely bot-driven. Like, you literally cannot make money as a normal player.
Oh.
Dang.
Well, you can't even buy a video. My buddy had to buy a bot to buy a video card.
I'm thinking about doing that, dude. I'm thinking about botting one.
Literally.
Why is the demand so high? Is this buy, scalp, jack up the price again?
It's because Bitcoin spiked, right?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That too. Yeah, that too.
Oh.
He mines
Bitcoin hit some crazy high like peaks, so there was a lot of people buying the miners, right? Or buying
that was
miners.
unlucky. That really had to happen right as I'm trying to upgrade my PC. Fuck, dude.
Apparently, the 30 series cards are decent for mining ethereal too. So I don't know about Bitcoin. My buddy doesn't mine Bitcoin, but they're decent at mining. So
Yes, what I'll do. I'll have BDO in the background, and all the extra resources will go to mining ethereal. Or
ruin my fucking good luck, dude. Bro,
I'll make like 20 cents a night. It'll be totally worth it.
This man has the best wife in the world. He's got this like 2 plastic tables put together in the living room. With this rig that just has like 8 video cards on it, and it just makes our house so fucking uncomfortably hot. And she's like, "Hey Tim, would you like some casserole?" And I'm like, "Holy shit, you found a fucking winner, bro."
Well, I mean, she probably reaps the benefit of all that Bitcoin, right? Especially if that shit's going, tripling in price. I'm sure she doesn't mind.
I don't know. They're driving a Honda Accord from like 2001, so we'll see how it plays out.
But what's her purse?
Isn't that what Warren Buffett drive?
Do I know what Warren Buffett drives? No, is he one of those I'm not going to spend the money that I make kind of people?
Yeah. I think he's notorious for driving like a pretty basic car.
People always talk about his really cheap
why
house,
I drive a Corolla.
but he has like a really big mansion too. So he got like 2 houses. So he's got the humble house and he's got the big mansion house. What's the currency called that I need to be mining to make this? This sounds like a pretty good deal here.
Bitcoin or Ethereum?
You mean Ethereum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it Ethereum?
Bro, Ethereum, huh? That sounds like something from a video game. I can get down for that. Yo, mine's some Ethereum.
What other events do we have going on? You guys got it pulled up?
Let's see here.
Level Nova again. What the fuck is that?
Drop rate. That's nice. You
What's-
guys see the
what-
price of hearts? Oh, I'm stocking up.
What's going on?
What'd you say?
There's like a double hard drop rate for like the next 2 weeks or something like that. Or
Is that why I got one out of my Shotgun
Wow.
box?
They were like they went down to like 42 or some shit.
The weekends have always had hards and sharps. Do people even remember that?
Forgot it was buffed on the weekends only.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I had to.
Does it say anywhere in game that that's happening, or is it just like a completely invisible event?
Tribal knowledge.
I think it is, dude. I feel like that's been tribal knowledge for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally forgot that was even a thing, to be honest.
I
had
told Perlo about it when Hot Time came out. I go, "Can we get Hot Time for Hearts and Sharps?" It was in the pre-awakened days, and they're like, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, yeah, like the weekend Hot Time. Can we get that during the weekdays? And they're like,
Isn't that like a thing that happens on the daily now because of Oasis though? During like a specific time window, as part of the Oasis little
Maybe,
stay
yeah,
home
that might
incentive
happen
for
from,
COVID.
like 4 to 7 or something.
I'm
"Oh,
pretty sure it's like a time window thing. Yeah. What?
They disabled
Maybe.
desert digging apparently. Or no, that's not true. I heard a rumor that I got debated the other day. Someone told me that they disabled desert digging for it, but they didn't.
bro, you get debated at least once a day. Let's be honest."
I'm so mad about it.
You were
actually
going on
so
today
mad.
about it. I was happy for you. You should be upset.
I feel like I should ban Tim Allen 1337 from my chat.
Dude,
and
it's
solve.
fun. I'm sorry. It's fun to debate you. It is fun. You're a little gullible, and it's okay.
I give people the benefit of the doubt and take advantage of it.
Yep, that's called being gullible.
I don't like it.
I respect that. So the level up Nova again. So if you leveled up a Nova already and got rewards, now this week you're getting more rewards for having a leveled up Nova.
No, that's not what. It's just for
No,
leveling from
56 to
57 to
60.
61.
Yeah, but you already got rewards for doing that.
Oh no,
you didn't. You got
They split
rewards
it.
for going up to like 55 or something.
They did a traditional thing where they did like half, and then they don't give you the other half until later on, until the weekend comes out.
Was that a seasonal thing that I got? Was that the reward? Was just the seasons?
Yep, they had.
Yeah.
Yep, they had one for seasons, and they had one for playing 36 hours. I think it was the other one.
Yeah. Okay. So if you leveled up a Nova for seasons, you got season rewards, you got playtime rewards, and now you're getting more Nova rewards if you played a season Nova.
Yeah, if you didn't level up a Nova, you fucked up.
Yeah, okay. That's why I didn't differentiate that. My bad.
You know what I actually think they did a really good job with? I didn't really feel this as much last season because I don't know if they'd added them all in yet, but the regional tasks that you have on the season where you go everywhere in the game pretty much now and you can kill 250 and then 500 and you get like a big dump of rewards. That's super good. I feel like they should add that to the rest of the game and make it like a weekly reset where you can just go anywhere in the game and get like bonus Blackstones or bonus silver or bonus whatever.
Go
just
grind
for like
a crescent ring.
grinding the same spot over and over again.
I want a crescent ring at Crescents. I want to go to Crescents, kill 10,000 mobs, and get a crescent ring.
Yeah, or, you know, even like 5,000, like if, and just give it a weekly thing. I think that would be. It's almost like Dark Rifts, you know. Like, I think more stuff like that spreads you out and keeps you from doing the same thing over and over again is really fun.
Dude,
You know what
we need
else?
Slayer.
We need what?
Slayer from old school RuneScape. It's like a skill where you get tasks to go kill different mobs, and then like you get bonus loot, and like you can use.
Yeah,
your-
bounties, mob bounties.
You know what else you get for doing those quests? Rulipy.
Wait, they actually count as Rupee every day?
They do. That's true. Yeah.
Wait, they count as Rulipy every day?
No, not every day when you do them.
Yeah, just when you do them once, right?
Yeah. We're talking about a hypothetical having them a daily or weekly or whatever.
Oh, got it.
But right now, as it stands in the game, you do get Rulipy for it.
We need a new Rulipy that counts dailies, like another one.
We need to have the current rule of B count dailies.
Just give me 30K for free. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think current rulipy is kind of easy enough if you really want it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yikes.
It's like 600 hours. What are you talking about?
Yikes.
That's very reasonable.
You don't even have to go into with all the character slots that are coming out and stuff, and like the additional territories. You don't even have to like deep dive anymore.
Oh, I'm not necessarily saying it's too hard. I'm just saying it's not like easy.
It's time consuming, but it's not hard.
It's not hard. It's just soul crushing.
That's just true. Very soul crushing.
It's like,
aren't you playing like 100 bill for a 300 stack at that point though? Like that's kind of the biggest thing that keeps me from doing rulepies.
Grinding rulipy for the fail stack is so bad. People do that shit all the time. I'm like, are you guys morons? Have you ever thought about how much your time is worth?
Like outside of the +5 fail stack base, it's kind of like.
Yeah, the +5 stack is huge if you enhance a lot, but like you could enhance a black star on like 100 stack, a pen black star, and that would be a better use of your time than doing 600 hours of quests just for 300.
I think I should get extra fail stacks for enhancing, not for questing.
That'd be nice. I would love that.
You should unlock tiers of base fail stack from enhancing. That would be sick.
All right, BioHack, I have a question for you. What do you think a good solution would be? A lot of players think that making a 250 stack, myself included, is ridiculous and too hard. What would be a solution to the enhancing system, make it where players can... the enhancing system doesn't... maybe a 150 stack or something. What would be a solution to keeping the cost up, though?
The cost up?
Oh, I mean, the idea
I don't know. I mean, making a 250 stack, to be honest, is not hard. It's just that people are really bad at enhancing and like cron shit they're not supposed to. One thing, I don't know, like, I mean, my preferred solution would be increase the, like, uncap the max value on everything so that everything is purchasable on the market and there's actually an incentive. Like right now, it kind of sucks that things like pen black stars aren't worth making, which means that people can't buy them. So they have to get these stacks to make them. And then, you know, it becomes a whole nightmare. I don't know what the other solution is. I mean, I guess you could give people like some way to give people fail stacks for using crons, but I don't know. That's tricky.
I've already solved this problem years ago.
What if they just make fail stack saleable? Why don't you just do that? So there's still the whole process.
That's one big solution.
And then, like, let's say you're trying to make a pin, whatever the fuck, and instead of getting the pin dim tree, you end up somehow making a 280 stack or something. Just spitballing numbers. You sell the 280 stack and then just buy your dim tree. I mean, it's kind of the same concept.
That
right?
would be an amazing fix. There could be a whole economy for it.
So then it's like you still get something out of it regardless. Even it's like it keeps people from bitching out and quitting the game and complaining about bad RNG as well, because then they're still generating some silver value, right, that they don't have to extract with the stack.
Yeah. The one scary thing about uncapped fail stacks or sellable fail stacks is it means that like people can literally buy fail stacks off the market, pull out their wallet and Tron pens like all day long and just print money. Not that they don't do that already, but it would be really, really, really easy.
Hasn't that ship sailed though?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Man, Mr. Pay to Win was cronning his pins on Xbox with like 56 fail stacks. Like, like they just pull out their credit card anyway.
You know what kind of event I miss? Fail stack event would be nice, but I would really like a event for new classes. They used to give us those little seal events, and they haven't done that in forever. I miss those. Give us, like, you could get seals you can turn them in for blackstones or sharps or hards or scrolls or whatever. That was a really good solution to that problem. Hello?
We can't hear you. Are you talking?
Like, is you banging me?
Wait. Did I hear that right? Making seals give items fixes the problem of not being able to sell fail stacks? Wait, did I hear that wrong?
No, fixes the problem for like sharps and hards and stuff like that. I was talking about you remember like Mystic had seals. I found some in my Grana storage the other day, and I was like, man, I really missed that. Now Nova's out, and we don't have any Nova event.
I agree. We should have Nova seals that if you stack up enough of them, you can turn them in for a 300 stack.
I like this idea.
That would solve a lot of things.
You guys should just enhance more tap black stars if you really need stacks.
It doesn't work for me. They all go up.
Yeah. I guess I would either get a big fail stack or get a lot of money. So I guess it's a win-win.
I guess now that I think about it, I think that it might actually be good to have more ways other than Rulipede to get 300 stacks if they were like appropriately difficult. I think that could actually be really good now that I think about it. Because we're going to end up in a situation where pretty much anyone who wants to make endgame gear progression when like Fallen God is all out is going to like have to be enhancing a lot of pens to sell or gear to sell in general. There's just no way.
That's how it's been for a long. Like anyone who wants to keep up with you without spending real money has to enhance for profit. That's one of the things that demotivates me for pushing my gears. It's like, okay, I have two choices: I can enhance, or I can like go get a real job and just spend my salary in a game.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is like enhancing for profit. It's kind of dead right now and has been for like at least a month because they've given away so much shit. I don't know. I'm just thinking like ways to get those
back, though.
critical. Maybe, probably. I'm guessing like we probably won't be looking till like April until maybe it's viable again. I don't know. It's well, and here's the thing: it's all about playing the market to get resources cheap and very little about enhancing. Like obviously you have to do it right, but you can't enhance for profit right now unless you're using either cron stones or resources you got when they were cheaper.
Yo, you think it's gonna be fixed? Just wait till the server merge and not server merge, but PA takeover, and they give everybody like 5 J's hammers that work on accessories and shit.
Shit ton of free stuff. That's why I say not to, because I know like probably a month away if they didn't give anything free, but I know they're gonna give a ton of free shit away when they take over, and that's gonna fuck the market up.
What's
real
next
bad.
after that? The 5-year anniversary is right after it too.
True, yeah,
true.
Free 300 stack for everybody for the 5-year anniversary.
I think that's all going to get rolled together, though, don't you think? The 5-year anniversary and them flipping over.
I mean, they're like a month and a half apart, aren't they?
No, they're like 2 days apart.
Well,
they
it starts
flip over on February 25th, and the anniversary is on like February 28th.
Well, it starts January 27th, though. That's when they're going to start advertising it. It's January 27th.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, they might do rewards leading up to it, but I feel like it's the same with the 5th anniversary.
We'll have to see.
I don't know. It's not really as crazy to look forward to, right? Like the anniversary used to be big to look forward to because they give away those boss gear boxes and shit like that, and like there was something big coming, like birthday cakes, etc. But now it's kind of like, oh well, Jay said let's give everybody 600 crons because I woke up and put green pants on. So it's kind of like it's not the same, right? So like I don't even normally look towards the anniversary a whole lot. I kind of like forget that it's coming up.
I just want my birthday cake. That's all I want.
Maybe they'll give everyone. You know how there was a tri-accessory event for the 3-year anniversary?
No.
Please no.
Guess what? A 5 is equivalent to.
Blade West is rolling in his grave right now.
I'm excited for the free pin accessory event that we're going to get in a month.
Yeah, I can't feel that though. Like, I'm currently going for a pin crescent ring, and bro, it's just like I don't know why to get side for anything at this current time. The only thing I get side for is when new grind spots come out because it means potentially new things to go for. Fallen God, I guess, was good. What do you guys think about that? As far as gear progression and like feelings towards like, what if they give away Fallen God?
I'm just really give away Fallen God,
or maybe like Black Stars, give away Black Stars, so the Black Star enhancing economy goes crazy.
You really want me to answer that?
I'm just spitballing ideas. I don't know.
Why don't you just find something side grade to do? Like, go get the Orzeka outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like, go grind for the Orzeka outfit. That'll take you some time. You know, about 600 hours ish if you do Turos, and then if you do non-Turos or at Olans, it'll be like what? 30, somewhere between 30 and 40, something like that. I mean, I'd give it some time, something to do. You know, Orzeka looks pretty sick, right?
It does look pretty sick. You're correct about that.
Bro, I saw that on I saw that on a Valkis day. I was like, holy shit, I want to grind that now. I'm ready. It looks good. Where are people grinding for most of it? Sorry again?
I said you have the gear for it. I mean, you're over the gear requirement for it.
Yeah, that's true. I did a little bit for Thorn Forest. I was thinking about maybe Tauros or Olin. I guess Tauros suck for it, don't they?
Yeah, Tauros is literally like 600 hours. If there's like a range, because like the leaves or the Cortaron's leaves, the red leaves are super rare. Like sometimes I'll get 2 in 5 hours, and sometimes I'll go like plus hours dry. It's a big range.
Where people would go? What's the alternative?
He's probably more likely to spawn at places with higher density, right? Is that a thing?
You can get the red leaves at 2 spots. You can only get the armor from Turos or from Olun's. Those are the only 2.
Is the same with Alfuaro. He has to spawn at those spots to drop those pieces.
Yeah. So and like
Yeah,
Olun's is like the go-to. Olun's, people were getting up to like 5 leaves in an hour out of the 100 that you need, between 3 to 5 an hour. Whereas Turos is like maybe 1 every 4 or 5 hours at best.
What kind of DP do you need for that?
Olans is weird with DP because like they do so much damage. It's more like learning mechanics and dodging and not getting one tapped.
You said what? You say more?
Can you actually have enough DP to survive that place?
Well, I figure you can. I'm gonna try it, I guess.
I think you're just supposed to not get hit. I don't know if DP is.
Well, I don't know if I can do that. That might not be a possibility for me.
Maybe Nova can take a hit.
Ooh, maybe I'll play Succession Nova. Yeah.
Yeah, see if her shield can block that shit. She has very little evasion.
I need to work on my DP. I'm way too low on my DP. I'm like 361.
Is it like super overpowered? Like Suck Nova's block? Like, is it like Guardian when she first came out? Like super overpowered?
It's overpowered in a weird way. It can CC you. Because her minions spawn when you're blocking, and the minions can, if you attack her, then her minions might just appear beside you. So a lot of people, when they'll go up for like a grab, they'll grab, and the minions be like, "Oh, hello there," and then they'll CC you while you're grabbing the Nova.
It's a really strong block, but she's also super easy to grab in Succession. Like, I don't know, she's very turrety, even more so than Guardians. Very easy to read when she's vulnerable.
True.
Guardian's never vulnerable in the hands of a master.
I just wait for Guardian to cast Fierce Disdain, and then I win the fight.
Yeah, okay, well, if you're playing Warrior.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you're playing Musa, then yeah, good luck against a Succession Nova. You might as well just fucking dash away.
Let's see. They're supposed to be doing the 2 snow regions this year, right? What are you guys thinking they should do for that? You want to see more like Tauros or Olin or what?
I want to see Margoria Part 2. Fuck the snow region.
I want to see Hellgates or Arathi Basin.
Aren't we getting Margoria Part 2?
Well, I'm just gonna be real.
I don't know.
Fucking
Yeah, dude, Arathi Basin. Let's go.
But that actually,
fuck more grind spots, dude. Give me fucking like shit to actually do. That's kind of like a blend between PvE, PvP, or something like that. I don't know.
You know, I heard Potion sing on his Infinite non-ending stream that a lot of good stuff has happened lately, and I'm constantly reminded every week that we do this podcast that there's a lot of good stuff potentially coming, and we have to have like this renewed trust in Pearl Abyss's ability to execute that they've never really shown us.
True.
And so we've got like a lot of stuff looming over us. Like there was the balance changes weren't bad. They did some pretty good stuff. Of course, you're never going to strike a perfect balance, especially with a game that gets a new class every quarter, where most MMOs get 3 per their lifetime. But that aside, they've done some really good work here in this game in the past year. But I feel like it's all for naught if what has been teased in front of us does not come to a fairly perfect execution. So I think we're all kind of held hostage, especially if you're interested in PvP or, having the PvE, PvP thing. Subject brought up the Thorn Forest or whatever that's coming. Like, that's such a big deal. Like, if they pull that off, this game is going to go wild. right?
Dude,
If they
I forgot about Thornwood Forest. Yeah, that's
pull
still
off
has
the
to come out at some point,
changes,
right?
and if they get a couple of these things right in a row, but people are going to really kind of stop caring about the pay to win, you know?
How do you guys feel about them giving roadmaps, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like when we like telling us all this stuff is coming, or like when they do quarter or half a year roadmaps. Do you guys dislike it when they do that? Because I personally hate it. Because it just like if they didn't tell me something wasn't coming and then they didn't and then nothing came, I wouldn't be as kind of like jaded by the fact that they say all of this is going to be released by summer. Come summertime, we have 2 things from that list.
Yeah, they're very bad at living up to their own announcements.
The number one
other
rule
thing
of
is, like,
sales.
a lot of the stuff. What I'm starting to realize is a lot of the stuff that they announce, especially recently, I feel like we've been talking about it and like building it up and talking about all the cool things they could do, and then when we actually get more details on it, it's just, I don't know. This Hadoom stuff. Have you guys seen on Global Lab what the empowered Black Star turned out to be? Did you read about that?
No,
It doesn't work on pins.
It's a complete. It's nothing. It's absolutely
on
nothing.
tries.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're supposed to use it on your try or your tet to make it equivalent to like boss gear that has a few Cavers levels. That's it. It's just, that's all it does. It's not like they have the potential here for you to like go and grind these Hadoom places and power up your Black Star armor and have that be like an end game activity. But it's just like it's like a couple extra points of DP. That's it.
So
and it doesn't work if you're pen.
If you're Tet and you have this Black Spirit energy or whatever you want to call it in your gear, it's basically pin gear C8. That's the equivalent.
C8? I don't
Yep,
think
it's
that's
C8. I looked it up.
I don't think so. We'll have to take another look at that.
Really? Tet armor will be equal to pin C8 like Dimtree? Tet Black Star
negative.
armor?
It's like C4. I don't think it's like C8.
Tet is the try and the duo are not anywhere
Okay,
close.
I'm gonna go pull it up right now.
That would be kind of crazy. Yo, fucking
the
enhancing
thing
Black
is-
Star's back, bro.
Well, the thing is, if you did that, then you couldn't go for Fallen God unless you went for pin Black Star. So it'd be like only like for new players who want to wait on getting Fallen God. I think that'd be like the place for that.
To answer the initial question, one of the old sales adages is to underpromise and overperform, and I think Pearl Abyss really kind of needs to remember that. And then them coming out with additional roadmaps after how poorly they've performed on their previous ones is like dad telling you he's going to show up to the basketball game this time. You know, just.
I mean, I think that's
embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I think a lot of this.
I feel like Pearl Abyss just announces stuff like after they have a conversation about it, instead of like having actually done any work. Because they like a lot of companies are like really hesitant to announce stuff until they're sure it's coming out. Like look at Blizzard with like Diablo 4, whereas Pearl Abyss is like, we're making a new MMO. Oh, I guess we're not, because it's going to be a single player game with some multiplayer stuff.
Diablo
Like they
4.
just announce things like that are so early in just like the idea state.
Blizzard with Diablo 4 is probably the worst example you could have given.
I mean, the Diablo 4 thing is kind of weird
the point
because
I'm making is that like Blizzard like would announce it. Like they clearly were working on it when they had that shit show with Immortal, and they wouldn't say anything. You know what I mean? They're like so secret about it.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, they announced that because of the Hong Kong thing, though.
They were
let's be honest.
scrambling, dude.
They are
No, they
like,
weren't though, because I follow a lot of those guys, and they knew about Diablo 4 being worked on like during the Immortal phase, because they were posting job updates and stuff that were very clearly aimed at that. So like people who were paying attention knew that shit was being worked on.
Yep,
they just never, and like, but I mean, like I kind of derailed us here, but like the point is that like other companies are way more like hesitant to make announcements about things, where Pearl Abyss just announces everything like before they've even done any work on it, and will completely change their mind and just abandon stuff and never mention it again.
And I did the derailing for the record.
Going back to what Khur said there, though.
C4 to me. I just checked the stats again. Pretty sure it's just like a C4 equivalent.
It's anyways, whatever.
I mean, that'll diminish some of the people who go for Penzarka over like a Tet Blackstar because they want to make incremental PvP progression. But I mean, I already kind of felt like that was a bad choice anyway. So
going back to what Khur says, like for the roadmap, is I think that the roadmap is a good idea if it's actually a roadmap they're going to hold themselves accountable for. If it's a roadmap and they're just going to change it, then you could just not announce anything and there's no difference to the player base. So I really feel like I like the idea of roadmaps. I think they're good, but they need to actually be stuff that they're actually going to deliver in the time frame that they say they're going to deliver it. Like if it's going to be a Q3 roadmap, I expect everything to be in Q3. And I feel like right now they say stuff like in Hideout Ball, they said they want to do the snow region and then the area above Valencia. And in this last one in Caltheon Ball, and they just did, they said they wanted to do 2 grind spots, not the whole snow region. They said do 2 grind spots, and then they want to do Port Rat Part 2 or whatever. And they didn't mention the Land of Demons. Like they just didn't mention it at all, which is the area above Valencia. So it's like they just completely skipped out on all that. And it didn't offer any explanation or anything. And I feel like that's like why I don't really like us. I wish they would, give us more concrete things. And if they're still in the planning phase, they'll give it to us.
But die
I
apart.
think that they could change the game in such a way where we were excited enough about the current state that we didn't care so much about what was a year or a year and a half down the pipeline. I don't know, like I've never played other MMOs the way it is with BDO, where I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen 3 expansions from now. Like other MMOs that I've played, I'm always playing it in the moment and just enjoying the game. Like BDO, just it seems like they're always like, oh, it's going to get better later. Like I don't know. I think there's things they could do to the game right now that would make it engaging. And make people want to log in every day instead of like constantly looking to the future. We've been looking to the future for a minute in this game, it feels like.
I read through most of the minutes of Pearl Abyss's last, I think it was Q3's investor meeting that they had, and it was really stressful. And I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. Like we didn't need, the player base didn't really need another Heidel Ball, but I think it was more for an investor side of things because they've been losing so much money through COVID for whatever fucking reason.
How's that
mostly video mobile, but I think I hate to like bring business into our conversations about development of the game and the game, but I really do think that is a large part of what you were just speaking to, Moreland, is that they're trying to justify, the current player base and get them energized and excited, even if they're just throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall. And maybe it's a vibe check too. What are people getting excited about all this shit that we just threw on the wall? What should we really focus on? I mean, these guys are so fucking secretive. You'd think they were like part of some government or something. And so we really have no idea how far along these ideas are, even if they're on Global Lab or not, or where their headspace is with a lot of it. There's very poor communication, even for being a gaming company, and specifically for being an MMO company. And so I think it's, having podcasts like this and feedback and, being responsible on Reddit, which is pretty close to fucking impossible, means a lot because we have no idea where these guys are really getting their feedback from.
Well, it's actually kind of crazy because they communicate a lot, but it means almost nothing. And that's kind of crazy because you hit the nail on the head when you said like they don't do a good job communicating, but at the same time they communicate so much, but it's just like it doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Well, we don't know if it's baits, right? We don't know if they're just dipping their toe into the proverbial pool to see what the temperature is on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess kind of like what you said, like they can announce something, but with me, it's always like, well, we'll see. Like, oh, the trading rework. People are like, you excited for the trading rework? I'm like, I'm like only 50% sure it's even going to come into the game. Like, no, I'm not excited for it. Like, they just announce stuff all the time. Like, I don't know when we actually have some details, but yeah, it's like you can communicate your ideas, but if they don't actually make it into the game, then it's kind of meaningless because I don't even trust that content is going to be real.
I keep adding to that analogy, right? It's like the trading buff will happen when you use the climbing life skill to go over the invisible wall for Port Rat Part 2 and
milk the Valencia camels.
To milk the Valencia camels. It's just like a game of telephone that we keep like adding to. I should write it down.
I kind of like agree with what Moro said, where it's like at the current state of the game, it's kind of like you're pushing gear for the sole purpose that when something does finally come out worth doing, that you can do it. right? Like you're chasing that when something finally happens, you'll be able to take part in it instead of like kind of just enjoying the now.
Yeah, if you were logging into the game and pushing for an arena ranked leaderboard or the top Thornwood Castle reward or like some current goal, you wouldn't care what the next expansion is. You'd be logging in, focusing on what you were doing right then. Like that's how the game used to feel.
True. Yeah, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. We'd all be like, "Oh my gosh, dude, we played the battle arena yesterday, and oh look, Black Rose came over and took some territory, and like we'd be talking about that. That's the news, But instead of Siege podcast, the Siege podcast died, and this is what's most entertaining now because like it's like that's not relevant because no one does it anymore. It's a good point. Looking towards the future is what we have like going for us instead of the game, and I think that's incorrect. I think it should. I mean, I don't think it should be that way. I guess is a better way of saying it.
I mean, like I still have stuff I like want to do in the game. I don't know.
Well, I think
I have stuff that I want to do too, but the problem is not that I don't have stuff I want to do. The problem is that the things I want to do are either gated by some sort of like tedious chore that I don't want to that I've already done enough of over 5 years of this game, or the payoff for what I'm doing is so few and far between. Like I'm working on something for 3 months before I finally get it. There's such a plateau with your goals in this game at some point. There just needs to be more things to work on, more leaderboards, more competitive shit, like more day-to-day stuff rather than I'm going to go grind another 50 bill for my next upgrade.
I just read on Global Labs that we're going to have to be guru pottery life skilling to go into Thorn Forest.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. The portal to go into Thornwood is going to be part of Guru Pottery. So, and that I'm memeing obviously, but that comes to like a big part of the distrust that we were talking about earlier, Potion, where you trust these guys and stuff, but they're really just throwing shit at us with no real intention. Dad is going to show up to the basketball game and get us the best Christmas present ever. Is basically what they keep telling us. And I think it's pretty naive for you to say what you said earlier in the podcast going, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I give them the benefit of the doubt when there's literally miles of evidence of them, not executing on anything.
You know what it kind of... Let you're done. What kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of like the people who get hyped over things like Ashes of Creation, where it's like they say all the right stuff, and it's like, okay, but they got to actually, like, what matters is when they deliver and the execution. And I feel like
I want to kiss you, man.
Dude, people are like, oh, you hear about the PvP changes, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're saying the right stuff. Are they going to do the right stuff? I don't know.
They also spent $1,000 on Star Citizen, so.
Oh, people spent way more than that on Star Citizen, didn't they?
That's it.
Big ships.
Yeah, some ships are like 10K plus, right?
Sorry, thousands of dollars on Star Citizen. Wait, fuck, guys, Jesus Christ!
I think that actions speak greater than words, which is why I hold more weight to them, what they actually showed and what they're actually doing. What they show off is they've shown that every single hideout ball is basically full of bullshit, and the patch notes and what they're actually doing in the game and the cycles that they actually hold themselves to, as obviously they seem to be wanting to do seasons, so I'd expect more seasons to come, and that's what I've been paying attention to the most. And I try to filter out what they're skeptical about. Like I personally don't think they should do Port Rat. I think it's a get out of jail free card. They could do BDO2 and it could be Port Rat continent, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're just, like I think the throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks is, I think, exactly a good analogy for what they're trying to do.
Thank you. I'm not trying to make everybody a pessimist, right? But I
am.
I think, and I am in general a pessimist. That is like my worldview. But if you got good enough memory and you pay enough of attention, you can learn a lot from just your own memory.
I mean, my biggest thing is kind of the reason I brought the topic up is kind of like, just don't tell me if you have an idea that's 2 fucking years down the pipeline. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me. I don't need to know
Yep, I agree.
Tell me about what's coming within the next month. Tell me about what's coming within maybe 2 months. But anything past that, just whatever, unless it's like this massive must know thing. Like if you have a proven track record of not keeping your word, it's better that you don't tell me, like you don't over promise. Because then if you fall short, nobody's gonna know because you had no plan set out, right?
Well, it's
That's just my thought.
You don't remember airships? Remember when they announced airships?
they're still in the game.
Airships, dude.
They're still in the
Can you
game.
imagine- and not to be insulting to anybody in the BDO directory, but if like a major established like 5,000 to 10,000 viewer Andy streamer like really loved BDO and was a part of this community, like how fucking ape shit they'd go over all this stuff that this company does time and time again, like really put a big fucking spotlight on it. How hilarious it would be if Summit 1G just like started outing all this bullshit because he loved BDO. Was like, this development and publishing company can't do jack shit. Look at all this stuff and like really put it out there. I think that's what gets them, why they get away with a lot of what they get away with, is the community just isn't big enough or loud enough compared to like the FPS genre or Rust or, you know, whatever these, you know, real large guys are playing. I think that's a big part of it, you know, so they just go to their investment, you know, their shareholder meetings and they go, why isn't BDO Mobile printing more money? And they go, we don't know. We'll milk our cows even harder.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. I think like going back, like Khur, you said the whole thing is like don't announce things if they're not going to come out for another year. And I think that if you look at the Hideout Ball, which was last year, like what, June, July, I don't know, like a long time ago, that's when they announced the new Node Wars stuff, and it's still not out. It's still not out. They said we're finally focusing on it. It's going to be the first half of 2021, and then Caltheon Ball happens, which is, you know, the most recent one that happened a month ago, and they're like, hey, like they don't mention it at all, not at all. They don't mention anything other than we want to do it, and it's just like that's what I wanted to see the most of. Like I want to see like how's this sheriff system going to work? How's all this going to work? And I feel like that should have been their primary focus, but then instead they talked about the snow region, which is probably going to come like November or December this year. And then they talked about Port Rat, which is probably going to be November, December, or maybe even 2023. And it's like, that's like that stuff that can just be left out. It's so early on. Like it's so early on, you can't show me a screenshot. Like, please, like just leave that out. I totally agree, Khur, on that front.
I bet you there's one guy who's been working on Port Rat this whole time, though, and he's probably done a fantastic job.
And he's going to see Porvos tear it apart.
That guy from Office Space with the stapler, just working away in the basement.
Like 50 new devs are going to get piled on top of him at the last minute, and they're going to ruin all of it.
Milton, yeah, thank you. Do we have anything else BDO related we all want to talk about before we move on to anything else?
Let's hit some of these real quick and see if you guys want to talk about them. They have a new BDO code, BDO HPNY for NAEU PC. Mysterious Knights in the game for 300% skill point EXP. Very, very powerful event. Takes about 2 or 3 days if you want to grind all day to get 1,500 skill points. On Global Lab, they released Black Star Boots and Nightmare Kudum on Global Lab. So that should be coming to us soon. And
what do you guys think about the stats on Black Star Boots?
What are they for? Like Urgons?
Weird. They're like weird Urgonish kind of really weird stat allocation, which makes me kind of think that the gloves are definitely gonna be bags, right?
The gloves are already out, aren't they?
We've seen the gloves.
Oh yeah, we do out have
they're bags with a few Kafirs, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Never mind.
So it's interesting because they used all the original boss pieces except boots. Like, I just found that so bizarre. They went like Gaiath, Dimtree, Beg, and then Uragon. Like they pivoted at the last second with the boots. Almost, I wonder if this is their way of like trying to kind of bring evasion down a little bit or something. What do you guys think?
Even PA knows muskins are ass, dude. I think that's all it means.
all about the Fallen God gear, right? Because like the Black Star gear.
Yeah,
is
but
not
even
really-
if so, Fallen God follows a predictable pattern, though. It's just extra Kaffir's levels past 20, right? So we can predict what a Fallen God boot is going to look like, and it's still going to be 50 evasion short of a C9 Muskin, right? So
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, if that assumption holds, I'm curious if they will just follow the same logic with it being essentially.
how else could they possibly do it? I mean, we're looking at, we can see the stats right now of Penn Blackstar boots. Like, they can't suddenly add 50 evasion just because you make a Fallen God, can they? Unless they add 2 different Fallen Gods that you could transform it into, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they could add 50 evasion to Fallen God. Maybe not 50 on the base, but like if you got like 50 evasion on the Tet, but no more DP, so it was sort of like a combination DP evasion.
It doesn't look like they're good. That sounds like a big stretch to me. These look like Aragons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just
stats. They're
hopeful.
really close.
That's what I want them to.
Dragons.
Yeah, wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking.
So what are you gonna do if Fallen God is 40 or 50 evasion less than Muskin, but way higher DP and DR?
I mean, I'll do some testing on Global Lab to see what makes me tankier, and then use whatever. I'm guessing solely evasion is going to be better, but who knows?
What makes you think they might do 2 pieces, like 2 sets? Like, do you think they would do that, like an evasion Fallen God set?
You know what's going to be total bullshit is if they release it and then they release more, kind of like they did with the original boss gear. So like you go get your Tet Fallen God, and then they release a new evasion boot or something
dude,
like that.
Super
That
Fallen
would
God.
That would suck so much.
Fallen God.
Well, they could do Fallen God, and they could do like Risen God, and then they could do like Elyon God.
Oh, that's true. They could do different gods.
No.
One god's more okay. So the Fallen God doesn't have evasion because he fell over.
Oh my god.
But then the other god who's still standing up, he can have all the evasion. He could be called Standing God.
I like it. I like it. Anyway, like I think they're like long term, it's an easy way for them to continue monetizing the game while also allowing them to push DP higher to counteract the AP brackets. Maybe that's their plan. I don't know. I do want gear diversity.
I kind of like the stats on these boots because it almost does force people to like kill their evasion builds, but I don't know. I also kind of feel bad for people who like invested in that and geared around it, and now they're being shoehorned into something else.
So I checked the Griffin helmet versus the Black Star helmet with the Black Star energy. It's a C6 is what it ended up being.
Okay,
my helmet's
I can buy it.
Yeah, my helmet's C4, and it's 2 DP higher than mine, and the exact same stats are than 2 DP higher.
So I had red nose, I've got evasion, gear or whatever. And like I understand I'm gonna have to buy a boss helmet for dead or fallen god helmet. But outside of that, like I'm gonna hold on to my evasion shit until it turns into dead god. But if they start coming out with other dead gods, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. I'm not okay. Not okay with that. I'll hold on to evasion because, like, what the fuck does it matter? We're moving to this one gear set, and I think that's easier to like manage time to kill and stuff since they've had like a really tough time because they never played World of Warcraft and don't understand the idea of like effective health. So maybe you just have one gear set is way more manageable, like you said earlier, Potion Shop. If they've got too much stuff, they can't balance it. So, I mean, if you can want gear diversity all you want, but if you want balance, we probably just need to have one gear set for a little bit, let it settle.
I've kind of given up on the whole having multiple sets of armors and making it work. I'm kind of in the sense that the diversity at this point should just be in the accessories and offhands, kind of. Because like you said, balancing too many different or like multiple different sources is just have proven that it's a little too much, right? So like having accuracy.
The thing is, you can reasonably have multiple sets for offhands and accessories. You can't reasonably have multiple sets of Fallen God.
Exactly, right? Because like you put in so much time to like acquire this gear, you can't just be like, oh, they came out with this, so whoever saved up costumes and waited for the next upgrade in costume cron price or cron amount gets to instantly get that, right? I think it's just like they should be just accessories and offhand, you know, come out with whatever, a bunch of offhands or different kind of accessories, and that should be it. Or maybe even crystals, kind of hit the drawing board with crystals, you know, make crystals mean more, and then make crystals not break in like combat or bosses.
Yeah, what if you could actually like swap
diversity.
crystals out and make interesting builds instead of just everyone having the same meta and then being of real life money expenditure to swap?
I want alchemy crystals that you can turn any crystal into an alchemy crystal, and whenever the crystal's turned on, you get double stats. That's what I want. Nope,
You guys
don't.
want to talk about other games?
Sure. No, well, that's what I was gonna do.
I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. My plans for sieging got a little scuffed because apparently there's people in the guild that I was going to shot call for that I've shit talked to, so I'm not welcome there.
Oh no.
Which guild?
Ubiquitous.
Interesting.
And apparently I leaked their DMs, but I've only done that to one person, and he's not in that guild. Yeah, so Borland, you're the one playing other games, right?
Oh, I wanted to talk about this new Ashes of Creation update. Have you guys seen it?
Shut the fuck up, really?
Is that their like NDA thing, or they're like NDA testing?
Dude, if it was still 2007, this video would be revolutionary.
I saw the one where they're fighting the boss, where they're fighting the purple boss or whatever.
Yeah.
That looks legit. Honestly, the combat
Does
looks.
it?
I think you know, as long as they can make the combat and gear loop interesting, I think that passes for combat. People have pretty low standards for MMOs these days.
What does it look like though?
Looks
Are they
like
still use? Oh, so they're still using.
Yeah, it's like our Age of Combat.
Yeah, they have like sort of ugly character models that do a sort of action combat-y thing with projectiles and cooldowns and
Global cooldown, probably.
like I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Interesting. Bro, I don't know. It's so weird nowadays to kind of like even be an MMO player, because like my friends are like they talk about all these other games and shit that they play, and how there's like a new shooter coming out every other week, and how there's like this new card game by Riot and all this other shit. And like I'm like MMOs is like, well, I'm playing
Riot's making an MMO though.
They are.
They are.
I mean, maybe Riot is the savior. I don't know, dude.
I will play this
Isn't
shit out
Lost
of that.
Ark like sneaking up on us? When does that shit actually come out? Didn't they say it was
The pay
like
to win in Riot's games going to be so heavy to deal with like all the sexual harassment that they get away with in their fucking. Honestly, though, all the lawyer bills and shit, man, I don't really want to fucking play their games.
they already had to pay for that? Do you think they still are paying for it?
I think if you get hit with a couple $1 million settlement and lawyer bills on top of that, that you're probably going to release some new skins in League of Legends and maybe consider your monetization for your upcoming MMO that you just released to be.
I don't know,
Millions
bro.
of dollars
They'll
is
just-
like pennies for them. That's like
They'll just
pennies.
release a new KDA skin, literally, and all that shit's gone.
So what matters in businesses is that profits are increasing, not what their profits are. So if you take big hits, you got to increase the profits. They have to keep increasing at percentages.
Riot's not a big hit. I don't know what their
Can I
actual
just be a little toxic for a second? That's all I'm really. You guys are like making me dive into like tier 3 thought process to make
Yeah,
it.
we're trying to shit on Riot, okay?
Yeah, bro, but that's why you're not shot
But it's
calling
an
tonight,
MMO.
'cause you're a toxic.
Yo, fuck you, Khur. You want to play? Damn it, little bitch.
Oh, I had to, dude. I had to.
Don't fuck with me. You know what happened.
I'm kind of excited to see what Riot's doing though, for real. Like,
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna be isometric, or do you think it's gonna be like a World of Warcraft copy?
I want it to be a Genshin Impact clone, but with League of Legends characters instead of weebs.
Just play
Ooh.
Zelda.
He
No,
already did.
Zelda's not a gotcha. I want a gotcha. I want to gamble for heroes, and I want to make a team and I want
they're
to
making
collect
money.
them like pets.
You're so
Pokemon?
brand friendly, dude.
Yes, I want to play a Pokemon MMO. Is that so much to ask for? I don't understand.
Wait, didn't
why
they
it hasn't
announce
been
one of
done
those?
before.
Didn't they announce one of those?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
When they announced that like Project 8 and all that shit, they announced like a little Pokemon like where you catch
Doke
cards
V?
and shit.
Doke
Yeah,
V,
Doke
yeah.
V. Yeah,
Yeah, do
dude.
you guys think they're still going to make that game or any of
Oh,
the games they
yeah, they definitely.
I don't know. Didn't you look those men in the eye? Isn't one of them really beautiful?
So let's see. Doke V. No, that was the BDO mobile guy. So Doke V started off as a like kid-friendly pet collector battle game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a year. What do you think the game is now? I think it's probably some sort of like turn-based Magic the Gathering clone that's adults only.
Stardew Valley.
You
Sounds
think
about
they
right.
turned it into Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
I think they forgot.
I think it's a sex game now. I think it's an X-rated,
sex game.
hardcore, weird kink, extreme fetish game. I think that's what it is now.
I got it right here. It's called, the translation for Doki V is goblin, apparently. So they know that. Thank
See?
you, Google.
Goblin.
And then they're also working on a first-person shooter. So
Yep.
what do you think that's morphed into? Maybe
I
that's
just
not
started
the
out with like
MMO.
exosuits and
Wait,
shit.
what if that becomes the MMO now that Crimson Desert single player? What if they're going to make the shooter the MMO?
No,
Yeah.
the plan,
Destiny competition.
they already announced as an MMO. And they already did. It's going
They
to,
basically said all their games were MMOs
Yep.
at that convention.
I think,
Right.
They were like, "Yeah, we've got 5 new MMOs coming out."
yeah,
You
no big
got
deal.
flown across the world to look at some spaghetti, and they put you on a webcam to go, which one do you think's going to stick on the wall, Marlon?
Man, they make good trailers, don't they? Maybe they should just stop making games and become like a trailer company, and then people could hire them to make trailers.
You got to know how to watch trailers, man. You can't just dive into the fucking every time you hear a cymbal crash or a cliffhanger at the end. Like, you've been watching trailers for 30 years and you've seen 30 years of disappointment. You're a pessimist, man. Apply your skills.
I don't watch trailers anymore. They ruined my blind experience of the game.
You're not allowed to say that anymore. I've been meaning to tell you that.
Hollow Knight's been really
Speaking-
fun.
Are you really like hardcore going after that blind thing? Because I saw you were playing that Hollow Knight thing and you had the exclamation point blind playthrough.
Just using the same command I've had
He has that
for
always.
years.
Dude
Yeah.
literally has used that back when he played Dark Souls.
I'm just
so many
not
years ago.
making any adjustments whatsoever.
Bro, that's kind of
All I'm
pog.
doing.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of pog.
Somebody, homie dances. He was saying that Hollow Knight is like 2D Dark Souls. Like, how's it like? What's it like? I've never played it.
It's the Dark Souls of side-scrolling indie games.
I watched your stream for about 5 minutes when I was like talking about the podcast. By the way, I apologize for that, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. And it looked like every other indie game I've ever fucking seen or played, and it turns me off so hard just to see that same little edgy.
You're the first person I've ever heard say a negative thing about Hollow Knight, Tim. You just have to go out there, don't you?
No, like you're reading a bunch of like really long ass cringy RP stuff. You're floating around doing all this like art that was drawn by somebody's fucking
Just for
card.
everyone listening, keep in mind that Tim only got to Taurus Demon in Dark Souls. What was the first? Did you get to Gargoyles, or
I got
how
to
far
that
did you get?
poison area, and when I'm never fucking playing this
You
game.
got to Blighttown. Okay, so this is a boomer who didn't get past Blighttown. I just want to put that caviat in.
He also clicked his Tet Black Star 80 times and then clicked it for pin.
Oh my fucking god! I'm just talking about the artwork looks fucking worn out and stupid. It looks like any game you'd buy on Steam for $20.
It looks amazing. It's got some of the best music and atmosphere I've seen in a game in years. What are you talking about?
Indie games.
It looks amazing. It feels amazing to play. The music is great. The fucking rain on the window when I'm in the big castle and I can see the water falling is fantastic.
Walk outside.
3 people made this game, and it feels more polished than almost
That's
every
how
AAA game that's come out in the last decade.
somebody's uncle who died inspired them to draw this character, and they hired the
My
Zin
character looks
Oppermans.
adorable and scary at the same time. Okay.
And then the only challenge in the game is, can you jump on this platform using AWASD?
Bro,
Tim,
but beauty and simplicity, man.
Get over it, man. It's
What about
20
Mario, bro? What about Mario? What if people said the same thing about it?
I'm just saying that when I looked at it, it looked like every other indie game I've ever fucking seen in my life.
That's probably a
That's
good thing,
pretty-
right?
I think you should try it. I now expect a drunk Hollow Knight stream, Tim.
He would literally get stuck on the first boss and give it the Blightstone treatment and talk about how it's the same as every other indie game, and he's quitting because he's bored, not because he's stuck.
I don't want to get through somebody's fucking like mushroom style college dream of a fucking video game, and got the third person, somebody's grandma died, so they have enough money to actually make the fucking video game.
What do you want to play then,
This
Tim?
guy's mushroom
What's your
trip.
ideal? What kind of game are you trying to play right now?
Apex Legends.
Yikes.
FPS player,
That's
yeah,
very
yeah.
bogged.
Shoe fits. I understand, dude. Never mind.
I don't know. I think that type of indie game, the artistic kind of whimsical lookout, I feel like that's like you sit next to that guy at a bar and he tries to fuck your wife kind of thing. Like I don't think it's real. I don't think
I
anybody's
definitely
doing
think that relates directly to Hollow Knight indie developers. This is very relatable.
Bro, how do we go from Hollow Knight to okay? Did
So
Potion
you're
and
talking-
Tim
you're over
kind of
here
like
talking about
trades?
authenticity. Hold on, you're over here talking about uniqueness and authenticity, and your go-to game is Apex Legends, a fucking shitty, watered-down game that's in the most played-out genre in the history of played-out genres.
Oh fuck!
You really want to get in this conversation? You want to do?
Bro, I'm so glad they released an 83rd Battle Royale game that's even easier and faster and more casual than the previous 82. Holy shit, that's really taking us into the next generation.
They're not trying to be anything besides a clean shooter.
It's so authentic. My character who fucking drops gas bombs or whatever is so authentic. He would never fuck my wife.
Oh fuck, dude!
I'm just saying that so it's Titanfall 2. I'm just saying the person who made Titanfall 2 and the guy who came up with the idea to just like get rid of the whole Titanfall thing and make it the nice clean shooter that was well optimized that it is way less likely to walk up to you at a bar and go, so do you guys like thirds, kind of thing, more than like the fucking two people and the rich guy that made this fucking floaty ass.
Why do you think Hollow Knight was made by rich guys?
Why's he
They had
gotta
a-
be rich, bro?
Bro, they had a $57,000 Kickstarter and a 3-man team that made this game over 2 years. It's a 2D side scroller.
Wonderful. How did we get this deep into this? I was only trying to say it looked like every other indie game I've ever seen. That's all I was trying to say. You guys,
Your opinion is wrong.
Whoa.
Everyone disagrees with you.
Whoa.
I just
I'm
think
taking
you
the
should
middle
try
ground
it
on this
out.
one. I've already had my enough controversy for today.
I think you should just try it out. Okay, you should just try it out.
I
Because
will.
some games like look unappealing, but then they're like diamonds in the rough, like Hades.
I can't believe you think it looks unappealing. I thought it looked amazing from the second that I booted that shit up.
It looks like every game I've bought on my Switch. Like it just.
Name a game that it looks like.
I can't think of the names of them.
I know a game it looks like. It looks like Tim raw tapping 2 pin black stars. That's about the same approach he had to it. Right?
Excuse me, Potion. The adults are speaking.
Oh, sorry. I was getting distracted by video.
I'll come
You
back.
guys are so cute, dude. You guys are just so.
I'm sorry, Potion.
Dude.
I'll come back next week with the games that I think it looks like.
Okay, I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think it's cute that this is the first time you've played an indie game.
I think there's a 10 out of 10 chance you forget.
No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I play lots of
If
indie
you
games.
forget,
I played, like,
if you forget,
Grimrock.
and we have to remind you, then you have to play Hollow Knight drunk.
Dude, I actually think a
Yes.
Tim Legend of Grimrock 2 stream would be fucking peak content. Are you ever going to play that game on stream, Tim?
What game?
Legend of Grimrock 2?
Never heard of it.
Dude, you would. I don't know if you would enjoy it, but I guarantee you everyone would enjoy watching you play it.
Okay.
What's it like?
Well, apparently not.
It's like an action RPG puzzle game, mostly puzzles, but it has like action combat too, kind of.
I don't like puzzle games.
I know, because you're not good at them.
They're not engaging to me. It doesn't, like when I sit down to play a video game, I don't want to sit there and do puzzles.
Think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What's wrong with that? What? And so somebody doesn't want to sit down and rack their brain. I want to forget and not use my brain and shoot people. That's what I want to do. I don't know how I got wrapped up into this.
That is emerging rapidly from this conversation. Yeah, I'm starting to see how our tastes diverge.
I mean,
Right.
that is why battle royales are as popular as they are, I guess, right? Like,
I flew out to Texas when I was like 14 years old to do a Counter-Strike 1.3 tournament. Like that's where I've always been. I just kind of got into EverQuest and I've always kind of done MMOs on the side. But I've been in like CS guilds, and then like the BRs started coming out, and I really enjoyed those. I played a lot of PUBG. But I didn't like the pace of it. And like when Apex came out, that's been like my favorite, like guilty pleasure side game. It just happens that I've been relatively successful as an MMO streamer at the same time that one of my
How come
favorite.
you never got into Rust? That's like kind of an MMO shooter.
Darkfall ruined it. The hardcore stuff. Like I went so hard into Darkfall that the whole like lose everything you have mentality hurts me big.
so you're weak,
Yeah.
weak-willed.
I also don't
drama.
have any friends that are funny. It's like I do this podcast for MMOs every once in a while,
Listen,
and it
Tim.
just like people watch it because it's a bunch of arguing, and when we all get along, nobody watches it.
Bro, I've been
So,
trying to
will
make
say,
jokes
though,
all
for
stream,
someone-
and not one of them has hit yet, Tim. I've been trying so hard, and they've just been all falling on their face.
I will say though, for someone who dislikes losing progress so much, you really Black Star attempts.
Wait, what are you grinding with, by the way? What's your main hand, by the way, Tim?
You and I are no longer friends, Khur. I think that I tried to make that clear about 5 minutes ago.
I think this podcast is getting too long. You guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Somebody else wrap it up. I don't like any of you fucking guys.
Khur, what do you got going on this week?
Nothing much, man. Same old. Buying costumes. Hoping that Pin Black Star or Black Star Awakening is next week.
This is episode 31 of Nerds and Words. I hope you guys had just as much fun as we did making it for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do this every Saturday, about 2 p.m. Pacific now, because we have to wait for Moreland to do Naxxramas, which he never talks about on this podcast. But that's
Nah.
fine.
I got 2 upgrades today.
We were talking about other games, and you started talking about like owners of games fucking people's wives at bars and shit. You made it real weird.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting us so sidetracked.
Potion Shop is in the middle of an endless stream. So as we get out of here and close this amazing episode, let's start with him and hear what's going on with his stream and what he's got planned for the next week of content. We'll move on through everybody as we do kind of an extended in here.
If you give me money, I stream longer.
It's not a lot of money either. It's a good deal. It's very cost effective.
$5 for 30 minutes, right?
Yep, that's it. Very
I
good.
sponsored an hour. Have you sponsored an hour yet, Marlon?
No.
Go give him $10. Jesus Christ.
No,
I'll think about it.
Moreland should not do that. He needs to pay rent.
Doesn't Moreland need like 10 grand for rent in Cali? Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just fucking.
and I'm trying to buy, dude, these cards are gonna be like $3,000 each soon. Like they just keep going up and up and up. Apparently there's a tariff that's expiring or something. I don't even know, dude.
Well, not only that, but like you You have like what's it called? Trying to think. I had a good joke and I lost it. Well, I think that's about it sums up this podcast is about.
Okay, that's on that note.
Moreland, what's going on your fucking channel? You playing more shitty indie games?
Yeah, I'm gonna play this terribly poorly rated game called Hollow Knight that no one's ever enjoyed. Definitely not one of the highest rated indie games of all time. And then I probably actually will stream some Nax tomorrow morning, and then play some more Hollow Knight after that. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Khur, what's going on with you, buddy?
Same old, man. Nothing special.
Oh yeah, push or
Nothing crazy.
did that. Okay. How about you, BioHack? You gonna make more server firsts?
I don't know about server first. I'm working on that merchant ring, but that's going to take forever. Yeah, I mean, mostly these days, just trying to finish my infinite HP pot. I got my Ronaros piece over the Christmas break, and now put about 40 hours into ShareCon, and hopefully get that soon. But I probably will be back on stream tomorrow.
I saw Blonde Bear post a picture or a link of a piece, so I think he's after it too.
Oh, did he get which piece? Did he get the Olin's piece? I don't know what else he grinds.
No idea. It just said
He was talking about like grinding Olin's with me, so.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I would just go get it for yourself.
If you go with him, he's like a luck vampire. He'll take all your luck.
Right.
Didn't he give you your flame like in the first hour?
True. Yeah, we have to grind those again pretty soon when the Fallen God helmet comes out.
I hope they pick a different item or pick a different spot.
You don't want to do it with me, Potion?
I'll do it again. I have 87 remnants right now. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Oh,
We didn't talk about this, but did you guys notice that Fallen Gods are sitting on the market now?
Really?
What'd you do? What'd you tell them?
They're actually appropriately priced now, is the thing. Like, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
the prices have been decent for a couple months actually. Like some of them, not all of them. Some of them are ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the duos have been worth for a little while. The prize and other stuff. I mean, part of it's because the Caphras market fell, right? If the Caphras were still 3 mil, it wouldn't be worth. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
There's a try sitting for 75 bill right now.
That's actually pretty tempting.
That seems like a reasonable price. I'd have to double check. They're like 35 bill to craft from the base. If you with the Caphras and the red nose, so I don't know. Have to look. Problem is Cronstones, man. Cronstones are so valuable.
Fuck Cronstones. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'll wrap up the episode here. Special thanks to Potion Shop for bringing one too many guests. That was wonderful. It worked out. It was fun. It was a good time, even though all of our UIs are a little scuffed. That was episode 31. We'll catch you guys next week at 2 p.m. Pacific. That's 5 p.m. Eastern on Tim Allen Moreland or Potion Shop stream. Have an excellent week, and we'll see you guys next time.